There's the button. There's the button.
which may invalidate
I got pinged. Why?
some of our traits.
Right. That's that. There we go. And hello, everyone. I'm AD Springer, also known as Corbinian. This is the Electric Metropolis video game tour, and today we're doing our Season 3, Episode 0 of Star Trek Survey Expedition Delta, Adventures of the USS Bonaventure in the Dawnland Fringe, although it's not going to be in the Dawnland Fringe for much longer. It is a one-third game, but there is some decisions being made about what the ship's new mission is, because they for those of you who aren't normally, most of the time we don't cover this during recording or during broadcast, but generally what I do is every season I allow players to shift the mission profile of the ship, make some adjustments, and they also get I may mention this last time, they also got an arc for finishing a season. So that's where we're at right now. We're still deciding. We've made a couple decisions already, or they've made a couple decisions already. I'm just here to look pretty. Or sound pretty. Anyway, they've changed the ship. Oh, they've added the legendary service record, which means they're going to get, whenever they get new supporting characters, they're going to improve almost immediately, which is amazing. I think you already have an ability that does that when certain people introduce.
The captain does specifically.
So you basically, so if the captain introduces them, they get two things.
Yeah,
like right
on the first appearance, yes. At the end of the first episode, they'd get 2 upgrades, whereas on another ship with a player without that talent, they wouldn't get their first upgrade till the end of the second episode.
So the next thing they're deciding is what the new mission profile is, because they're getting sick and tired of that Commodore meddling and everything. No. It's the fact that the new direction, which we'll go into during the episode a bit, but the new direction of this season, which is why it's episode 0, because we're not really getting into it yet, is we're going exploring, but we'll go into exactly how that's going to happen later. But that does mean, they came down on Pathfinder and Reconnaissance, which makes sense given what they're doing. There was a bit of debate on which profile to do. I kept pushing for Battlecruiser, but they ignored me.
We always do.
Hey. This has some consequences, unfortunately. They do lose some of their flagship stuff, but they do gain things from Pathfinder.
So the first question is, what happens in the case where we no longer qualify for something that was bought with an arc?
Which one would that be?
Let's see.
Like command ship, you're thinking?
I don't actually know if command ship was bought. Actually, let me look at my character sheet. Pretty sure I'm the only one who has.
The captain's the only one who's allowed to buy things for the ship. Everyone else.
For trades, for talents, anyone can.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I just don't think anyone, but maybe the doctor has, and the doctor gave advanced med bay.
I just gave advanced med bay.
Did you give sophisticated astrometrics?
Who gave sophisticated? Was that
Not me. I don't think it was me.
I used an arc to raise the structure by 1, which gave us resistance 4. I used the first season arc on improved shield recharge, which our qualification for that hasn't changed.
Actually, the answer to that, if you don't, because you may qualify for everything, but if you don't, you would swap. That talent gets swapped out for something else.
Okay, I think command ship came from. I thought it was dedicated subspace transceiver array we got with the flagship profile, but I think we chose command ship, and then maybe we chose separately to get dedicated subspace transceiver array.
That might be right, yeah.
So we definitely gonna lose command ship. We could get improved hull integrity, improved power systems, redundant systems, rugged sun or secondary reactors.
Pull us over here, because that's where we're going to be next anyway.
Does rugged design... does improved hull integrity... It does. We could have 5 resistance.
Ooh.
Dang.
Improved hull integrity. Which,
Mhm.
again, we're going up to weird FTL stuff.
Yeah, that like improved hull integrity like is a reasonable like thing I could see the fleet wanting to outfit us with, given the
Yeah, I
direction
agree.
that we're going.
Well, you don't want
Like,
expanded emergency medical facilities?
I don't think that's an option we can take from... Because this
Oh,
is just the profile...
Oh,
You
the
have to
profile
choose
one, yeah.
Profile.
Yeah. Don't mind me, just teasing them with stuff they can't take.
Improved warp drive we already had, so that would put it to the rank 2, which is... I don't actually know...
I mean, if we're gonna be pathfinding,
What does improved warp drive do at higher ranks? Because we have it listed as rank 1, so I assume it does something at higher ranks. Improved warp drive.
No, I can't see why an extra rank of it
No,
would
it
matter.
doesn't.
No.
It shouldn't have rank 1.
Yeah, it just has it, yeah.
Okay, so that's not an option. That helps us a little bit. Oh, and I was reading the wrong list. That was multi-role. None of what we have considered so far is an option. Improved warp drive is. Improved reaction control system is the first one.
Yeah, RCS, rugged design, or high-res sensors.
Reaction control. Whenever the ship attempts to move through difficult terrain, reduce the movement cost of the difficult terrain by 1 to a minimum of 1. We already have this, but it's specifically for warp, and it's to a minimum of 1. So this would help with in-system stuff, which would have helped in that episode last week.
Mm-hmm. And the week before even, because the two-parter basically had to fight around with the atmosphere the whole time.
Yeah.
And I will say I'll probably be doing a lot more interstellar or planetary obstacles for your exploration missions, so that just as a heads up. Plus, I haven't used hazards as much as I really should, because it's one of the things they added. Well, they added that mechanic into second edition. I think they grabbed it out of first time I ran into it was in Fallout, where they had it's like there's no check to get over an obstacle. It's just spend momentum. You get over the thing. You bypass the obstacle.
right.
Oh, record design is kind of nice if you get into needing to repair breaches.
And we're gonna be far away from help.
Yeah.
is rugged design the one that allows you to repair breaches without a?
I don't know that exists in 2E. It does. It could be interpreted that way, but it would kind of depend on the GM, because it says whenever a task is attempted to patch or repair. And I don't think the book says explicitly you can repair yourself. So I don't know why it would call it out, but it doesn't explicitly say you now have this ability.
Yeah, that's my read too. You would get because without 2E calling it out in particular, it would default to whatever 1E said, and 1E is if you want to repair a breach, you need to be at a spaceport to do it. That would give you a D20 while you're getting repaired. That's one thing to consider as well. You can get repairs. Ideally, you'd want repairs at MSO Wolastoq, but you could get repairs if you could find them a starport somewhere else. Like if you're really damaged, the next episode might be we sought out a nearby space station to get fixed rather than risk jumping through the river to get back to where we're going, to get back home. Especially if your warp drive's fucked, then you don't really have a.
Okay.
You don't really have a
So
choice.
here's.
Must mention in 2E breach.
It does. So it says if a ship has suffered breaches, characters can attempt tasks to try to repair the damage. These will not be full repairs, as this would take time and resources not readily available in battle. But starships are designed with redundancies and backups, and a skilled engineer can reroute damage systems to create impromptu solutions. So, not repairing breaches is a combat thing, because it also calls out. That's page 311.
Yeah,
it
I'm
also
there.
calls out on the next page that completely repairing a damaged starship is difficult and time-consuming, but one that most starships from the 23rd century on are capable of performing, and we are in the 23rd century. So it's
There's something you can do. It's just easier if you're docked.
Yeah. ENT. It's really calling out that ENT is the one where it's impossible to do large scale outside of a dedicated dock.
Mm-hmm.
But from TOS
So rugged design isn't that bad in reflection then. Because in essence, I imagine if you're outside of combat, you just come to all stop, and then people start crawling around on the hull, doing it the slow and difficult way. It's like, would this be immensely easier at a dock? Yes, but we can still do it.
Yeah, it might change something from a matter of days to a matter of weeks to not be in a dock.
Yeah.
So knowing that we can floating repair in space if we can justify the time and expense, we could do rugged design. That now seems like the way to go.
Oh, a single breach can be repaired within 6 hours of work. That's in long-term repairs.
So,
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
because I think it's the interesting story potential too.
Yeah, so if we get like really rocked in a battle, like we at worst might be stopped for a couple of days.
Yeah, because we can. Whereas one breach takes 6 hours for us, if we have the momentum, we can effectively do 2, because it's an extra moment. Yeah, if the task is successful, the crew may spend momentum to patch a second breach. This will cost 2 momentum, plus 1 per additional step of the potency of the second breach. So, if we had a breach of... I guess because we'll have to get into that when we look at it, but I don't know when it says this does let's say you took 2 breaches to engines. Is that 2 breaches to engines, or is that the trait engine manifold crack 2? And that represents 2 breaches.
Yeah, that's how it would work in 2E. You would make a trait worse than it already was. Although arguably I could have 2 potency 1 breaches, and that's still bad for you. Or I might just make 1. It makes more sense to increase an existing trait up to 2, but I could make because it's like injuries. It's like injuries that way with people.
It would kind of work out better for us if we have singular higher damage breaches then, because we can heal I think it's saying we can heal the entire breach. It's just more expensive if it's a higher potency. But it may be worth considering from a cheap perspective to read rugged design before we implement it the first time.
Yeah.
So
I've had to look at it very much because you guys haven't been breached too much, but that's going to be a much more pertinent issue going forward, I think. Not even just battle-wise, just being rocked by hazards and such.
That may be it, because I think the other ones were freely selected. Because you get talents, a number of talents equal to scale, which for us would have been 4, which would be rugged design, improved warp drive, dedicated subspace array, and sophisticated astrometrics, and then Doc added advanced sick bay, and I added improved shield recharge as talents. Federation Council ship is not a talent; it's a reward. So yeah, some of these may be determined by the ship's space frame, and at least one should be determined by the ship's mission profile. So did the space frame? I think the space frame just gave us peak performance.
And for nacelle stability.
Okay.
This is what peak performance looks like. You might not like it, but this is what it looks like.
Yeah, Inslee may not like it.
And
Oh, this is not-
may not like it, but
This
this
is not
looks
a this is not a 2E ship. This is a Utopia Planitia ship.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, I think no further alterations are required.
Fiddlesticks.
But there can be. I don't really. I have a mind to take the focus diplomacy, but I don't want to spend an arc on that because it can be done by a milestone. But I have a lot of talents. I kind of feel fine with my attributes and disciplines. I don't really want to.
Oh, here's a insight. The Constellation class gave you 4 nacelle stability, improved warp drive, and extensive shuttle bays. And you guys swapped out extensive shuttle bays for something else. That's just from your space
Probably
frame.
for command ship, and then dedicated subspace transceiver array was the thing we took from the profile.
That sounds right, honestly.
Which in the end would be fine because we'd be taking rugged design instead of dedicated subspace, lose the ability to take command ship because our command went too low, and then just refill that slot with dedicated subspace.
Yeah.
So I think by your allowed logic, everything still works.
Yep.
Because I don't, unless anyone has a different opinion, I don't think getting rid of dedicated subspace transceiver array would be a good idea before going out in the Millennium Air.
No, yeah, we should have that.
Yeah, because you guys have really leaned on being able to talk to each other through your comms. And that's come up a lot. Like talking through bad weather, talking to far away things, encrypting things. For a TV show, there'd be a whole dedicated graphic just for the array being deployed every time because it's like a beauty shot.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when the Voyager kept having the angle its little in the cells because that made sense.
Now, we've done everything that is a group decision. I'm tempted to spend one of my arcs to raise medicine because I've been promising the doctor I'd do something. But that feels hostile, undermining the player, but benefiting their character. Because the doctor wants it, but the player doesn't.
I think it's interesting if it's at 1, but I also would not object to it being raised. To be clear, like, I think there's fun narrative either way.
Yeah, because as it is now, the graphic shown here is accurate to a medicine of 1. It is a clinic with some beds.
Yeah.
If it goes to 2, then there's probably like a ward off somewhere where you can have. You don't need.
And having medicine 2, I think, would give us more storytelling potential with the
to raise it to 2 because it was a contention early on that like we just don't have the space. I can't move the bulkheads around, but now it's not that what can we do with the base space frame. It's like I personally can get 2 of the best engineers in the sector over here to Wolastoq to give us a look and see what space we could cram out because of an arc or because of
because narratively you're going to be in dock for a while for retrofits and so forth and maintenance. So it's like it makes sense for you to do big changes like this during a season change.
Yeah, and I mean, like, point being, like, it made sense to have, like, that on the, what was it, the, Andromeda?
Yeah, because it literally, the med bay on the Andromeda was literally like
A
2
room.
beds with a
And a desk.
workspace. Yeah.
And like, that made sense there, narratively. And then, you know, I think it also makes...
The flagship is assumed to be moving with other ships more capable of all the other tasks other than command. It's just we weren't because of our specific duties.
Yeah, I'd say, like, the other place that it makes sense to have, like, a one medicine ship is when you don't have a dedicated doctor character.
Yep.
Like, it makes
Well,
sense
in a way,
to not have us...
In a way, you almost want to be careful with that, because I've seen some ships make that mistake, and then when they have a support medicine doctor, they're like, oh crap, it's like they need every advantage you can give them because they're not a hero character. They're just a support.
Right. Yeah.
This does mean this is our maximum medical complement ever, because you can only increase a department with the arc once. You can't do it with a milestone.
You'd have to shift things around.
You can shift it around multiple times with. I guess, yeah, if someone wanted to, they could shift a bunch of points from other things, but you could never straight up increase it.
No.
So it's not necessarily our maximum, but it probably will be, effectively.
Did you adjust the fact that you went from flagship to Pathfinder? So
I did.
The
so
system?
Command and security came down by 1 each, and both of those points went to con.
Okay.
Let me double check the math on that.
Yeah, because flagship increased by comms by 1 on its own.
Oh no,
on top
for
of
systems.
That's a systems thing.
Yeah,
boy.
I brought comms down from 9 to 8 and engines up from 10 to 11. For departments,
Pardon me, sorry.
Command went down by 1. Engineering stayed the same. Medicine stayed the same. Science stayed the same. Security went down by 1, and con went down. Con went up by 2. So both of our embattled non-command characters have had their departments doubled. Speaking of which, now a con department of 3. Feel like we gotta push someone to being a full lieutenant now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to threaten you with bringing in a lieutenant.
Oh, did you account for your reputation rolls from last time, by the way?
We'll double check.
I did. I rolled flat.
Yeah.
I think I also rolled, or I think I got.
You did roll.
Yeah, I did roll, and I think I also got either flat or I got 1, and I decided not to spend it.
Yeah, you had 1. I remember now. Yeah, you had 1, had nothing to spend it on. The doctor did not roll. I will note.
Yeah, I don't think I did roll.
Nope.
I think I had to jump off like.
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Although
Okay.
you actually you only have 1 negative. That's you're in pretty good shape. It's the captain who got
dog piled on pretty bad.
Yeah, it's the captain who was in some serious danger. Hey,
that's a pretty good roll.
Yeah, that's like 4 against a diff 1.
That's 4 against diff 1, so net 3.
Well, there you go.
You can get like a trade out of that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I cannot give a trait to the ship.
Nope.
You can't give one to a supporting character.
That's true.
I have done it before.
That's true.
Can't help.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Captain, I definitely will say, if an opportunity for me to get promoted to full lieutenant comes up, I will take it, although I do have to find a opportunity to replace untapped potential as a talent.
That's
Well, that's automatic.
No, it's automatic. When you
Oh, it
become,
does?
Yeah.
You no longer qualify, so you drop it.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if it was a thing where, like, you had to qualify first and then you can do it.
Oh no,
or
it swaps because it's like anything else. If you stop qualifying for it, whatever talent that was, it instantly vanishes and it has to be replaced with something else.
Okay. Cool. Hey, Captain, maybe that's when I'll get my body.
Yeah.
The perk of being an officer, they give you a body.
And I'm gonna keep a list of all of the ret positives. I'm gonna be like swinging from the ceiling, saving people, tripping out of the elevator and stuff.
Yeah. Save lives.
I didn't. For my other arc, I didn't have any high line items because we wouldn't get any bonuses from increasing structure, weapons, sensors. They all would have to be increased by at least 2 to get the +1 benefits. Like a structure of 9 and 10 gives +1 resistance, whereas we'd have to get to 11 to get +2. Actually, I could. So I'm probably balanced between taking veteran, because I don't have veteran. Because I wasn't playing a veteran. I was playing someone who was in the sense of veteran, but not a veteran captain. So I didn't take veteran. But I also could take that talent that raises our resistance by 1.
Alright, I'm gonna give a trait to Lieutenant Fushi, I think. She's our most used.
I don't know if
Yeah.
career stages, do they count as talents?
They do,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like that we've always treated them like that, but they're not in the talent section.
They're own, yeah, because their talent's unique to your. Because if you're experienced, you get your free choice of talent, and the other 2 are talents, but they have special qualifications of. You either need to be a junior officer or you must be a senior officer. Whereas experience goes, I don't care what rank you are, choose a talent.
I'm giving Fushi the trait Eidetic Memory, GM. If that works.
Seems odd for that trait to develop, because I don't know if I usually associate eidetic memory with a trait one has from birth. Like, it's not something you can train on purpose.
But supporting characters can't do that because they can't take those kind of talents at character creation unless they're like lieutenant commanders or something. So this would.
Well, it's not even a talent; it's a trait. Is what I'm driving at. I'm trying to think of a trait. Like, if it's something the species was known for, like Cardassians are known to have eidetic memory.
I mean, Corby, if I can pitch it to you in this way, I mean, if we're making it the trait, it could be that thing that, like, oh, she has eidetic memory, she's just never brought it up before.
That's an argument. I take that. Yeah.
Like it's never shown up on screen.
Yeah.
Either that or has gone through some training to use it in your job rather than just have it be a neat parlor trick.
Yeah. Yeah, I could take that. That's where I was. I was tripping over that for a second. I was like, oh, I need to be sold a little bit. Yeah, no.
Cool.
Yeah, there are 2 ways that can be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this was what I was double checking. The requirement for veteran is you're a veteran, so that you took it during character creation or at game master's discretion.
Yeah.
So this would.
Because technically, you can take species ones as well with GM permission. Because it's not necessarily some of it's just especially some of the talents in there that are like they're personality based, not biological based. Like pheromones is an odd thing for a human to suddenly have, unless they got like an implant or like the way you'd have to argue how it would make sense, as opposed to I have I'm proud and honorable. It's like, well, your character is such a straight-laced, freaking Marine about things. Okay, fine. You know. But something like former initiate makes zero sense, because, like, no, that's a biological trill thing.
I'll take veteran because I use so much determination.
Yeah, really.
Yep, right. I am taking True North, which is
strong and free. Sorry.
Yeah, jeez, it's basically it's Keen Mind, the trait. Keen Mind, the talent. No, it's I always know if I'm on a planet, I always know which direction is north. On a ship, I always know which way is forward. On a station, I always know which way is the center. And the difficulty of any task for me to know where I am is reduced by 2 to a minimum of
God,
0.
that last mission would have definitely used True North.
Yup. You also have to finish all your any statement you make with "Don't you know?"
Don't you know? Yeah, no. Yeah, no. And that's why I took it. Like, I think if that last mission had been something different, I might not have taken it. But because the last mission was what it was, I was like, yeah, I can justify myself, like, developing a better knack for doing that in the wake of a mission like that. Training that particular part of my Medusan physiology.
Physiology, for lack of a better word, honestly.
Yeah, physiology, for lack of a better word.
I've given myself life lessons, which is incredibly narrow, but I think decently fun. It has a prerequisite of being a veteran, and it basically gives you the human determination spend as an add-on whenever you make a callback.
Wait, what is this again?
So, life lessons, prerequisite, the character has the veteran talent. Whenever you use one of your values to gain or spend momentum and make a callback to a previous adventure in which you used that value, you may immediately add 3 momentum to the group pool.
Oh my goodness. It has food, and it is very hot.
If it ends up never coming up, I'll swap it out. But
yeah.
That's all the preventing the game from starting that I have.
What about you other two nerds? What, computer? What are you beeping at me for? What? Nothing? Okay.
I'll see what delays I can drum up real quick, but nothing off the top of my head.
Hey, you're the ones denying your own character growth. It's no sweat off my nose. Because, people spent tons of determination during their shore leave episodes.
I was debating whether, because we're going on the deep space, we should, and we're no longer a command ship, we should think about the opening up to non-mission critical civilians and stuff, and families and stuff, which we really only did in the absolute necessary sense.
Plus, you have at least one support character you want to have as a riverfolk, because they're gonna. Well, I'll explain that in a second. But there's a reason you're gonna have someone from the Folk Federation. So is everyone ready to roll actually on this one threat session?
Yeah.
Speaking of, so to set the scene.
One momentum.
Huh?
Sorry to interrupt you. I was saying it can't be one momentum because it's a character building.
Oh.
A one momentum game.
So the current star date is 13180, and the Bonaventure has been called into the Wolastoq, and actually to give you an idea of what the sector map is like, not that you're going to see this anymore, the Haida is doing missions, currently patrolling around, checking in with various settlements in this region. The Market Brook is heading out to the colony way out here. And you're kind of over the mission area 1, as the Bonaventure is being prepared for the mission ahead. Whoop. And that is where... That ship's not there anymore. That is where Captain Killick has been summoned up to the command deck of the Wolastoq to meet with the Commodore. As you step out, you see the various people working away with the various station duties that they're looking after. And the XO of the ship kind of looks over at the door opening. Morning, Captain Killick.
Captain says, "Good morning. Point me towards the Admiral."
Just up front in astrometrics. Like gesture forward, but at the massive view screen, but you can see there's a little walking path that ducks behind it.
Captain will walk in.
You step in, and there's a few other people who aren't marked with tags, but there's some people checking over they're checking over the station's astrometrics is largely it's an advanced traffic control, so this is where some flight people are to help with guiding other ships, updating the Haida and the Market Brook, but also just studying the stars, just in-depth study of what every little thing is happening in the sector, updating information from other ships elsewhere in the fleet, cross Starfleet. And Commodore Hearn is at a console, just typing away, working on something.
Captain will introduce himself by saying, "Good morning, Commodore. I thought I might get to say good morning, Admiral, after all we've been through. Fingers crossed, I guess."
Oh, it's processing. I have to grab a shuttle here soon back to Earth to be vetted by the council. So it's gonna be fun being. The good thing is that as a Commodore, she taps at something and then she turns away from the console, and it gets a little closer, so she's not just talking to a screen. The good thing was, when I got upped to Commodore, I just had to stand on an Admiral ship and get the new pips. Now I actually have to get confirmed, which joy! I get to play politics more than I already did. I hate going to council meetings, but we need more ships, which means I need a higher rank. So, and gods know I deserve it. Not to toot my own horn.
Well, there's a lot more of us out there that share that opinion. Besides, we'd rather be sheltered from politics than be party to it, so we're glad when someone acts as our umbrella.
Although I will have to consider of my captains who I might up to Commodore, but I won't rush that decision right away. But I guess this is my very unpolitical way of saying if you want to throw your hat in for contention. Though I think Captain Satal has a bit of an edge on you right now, honestly. But if you put your hat in, I'll look over your next mission series and see if we can. But if you're not aiming for it, I'm not going to push you into it. I had to pull to be Commodore, but some people don't ever want to get into the Admiralty ranks or even the Commodore rank. So I'm not an admiral who likes pushing that on people. If none of you are interested, then I'm not going to up anyone to Commodore, honestly. But someone eventually is at some point.
I tell you what, you let me know what the council approves as far as your rank, and I'll let you know if Diana approves any further rank increases for me.
So part of the reason I wanted to see you, because all the normal paperwork's already been done for the ship, and I've already proved the mission profile shift for the Bonaventure, with much to the annoyance of our chief engineer, but the benefits of being high enough rank, I don't have to care too much. She walks back over to her screen and gestures. I have an additional upgrade that I'm going to put onto the Bonaventure. Since we're already taking your ship apart, we might as well take advantage of the situation.
Captain says, hopefully not some secret unknown section only privy to the captain and a poorly disguised intelligence officer.
Ugh, don't remember. The dark days of the war. But no, it's far more, well, I think it's fun than that. She taps at the screen, and you see a very unique warp drive system that, on a glance, looks quite alien to you. It doesn't look like anything you would have been brought up in Starfleet Academy or you've seen on other ships. And then it slowly dawns on you, you've seen this before on a much smaller scale. And she introduces it. A cruiser scale warp impeller. The same technology that the Folk Confederation have been using to travel their river network. I've been able, with all the efforts that the fleet has been, the Expedition Survey has been able to do, they feel inclined to teach us the secrets of their design. Now, it being upsized like this is, if we're being especially negative, we would call it a prototype, but given that the species has been using this technology for centuries, it's actually a rather well-known thing. It's just a matter of upscaling it, and they've never seen a need to do it. But now, with this, we'll be able to explore around the core of the galaxy at a faster rate than our warp drive alone could do. With this, we can wrap around to the other quadrants attached to the river network, to our fortune and misfortune. We could be looking into the Delta Quadrant and Gamma Quadrants. And the Beta Quadrant, although,
Killick will look at it and say, now that we've gotten a look at and an understanding of the technology, were they on the same path as Corps of Engineers with the Slipstream program? As Killick thinks, because for a good portion of Killick's career now, that was a promise that was supposed to be coming true, and I think it's now canned. But for a long time during Killick's career, we've thought we were about to get the next big breakthrough.
Yeah, like that was the big.
That was the
that
dream.
was like the that was like the big propulsion advancement that everyone had been talking about for years.
I was always the problem with the Slipstream, from what I know, I'm not as much of an engineer, but from what I've been able to look over, the big obstacle was being able to create the Slipstream in a stabilized manner that didn't basically rip apart your warp field at the same time. What this does, if in this so-called river network, the space in that area is already fairly stabilized through environmental means, although there is some theories among my science department that says this may have been artificially created, but without studying it further, it's hard to tell, and the river folk never really looked into it, unfortunately. And the star folk are annoyingly vague when we ask them questions. they say things like, you will come to understanding and so on, which I appreciate the philosophical stance, but, you know, sometimes you don't want to have to do your exam, you just want to get the answers. So this could be a stepping stone into it, but for now, we will, through your ship, we'll be able to get, hopefully, a lot more advancement on it. Another thing is maybe connected to, and I will ask you if you know, because you may have been cleared for this or not, but codes are different. Are you familiar with the Discovery?
Is she asking if I know about
Their
the
warp
thing
drive?
Okay.
Because she knows, because she's high enough rank, she would have read into it whether she wanted to or not. She's like, oh, yeah. It's more a backstory, backfill than anything, whether or not Killick would have been taught about
the captain will say, I don't think so. And it might occur to the Commodore that during the specific time, I think the Discovery about now, like 10 or 15 years ago, was kicking around. Killick was either a prisoner of war or in recovery, so not in a position to know about the latest engineering developments in Starfleet, or especially with something that got canned. It's not like something came of that. It would have been an interesting note to anyone who was allowed to know at the time, but it's not like a. Eventually, you couldn't have helped but know about it.
And would he have even been high enough rank at the time to have been someone who would have...
She's sort of asking as well if he was part of the intelligence trunk line. Because some people could say, oh, I was a prisoner of war, cough, cough. I was in recovery, cough, cough. She's like, I'm just checking if your intelligence, you were part of the secret program or not.
Killick was entirely doing those things.
So probably an answer of a blank stare of no? You've heard of the Discovery as a ship, but like that's the most you'd probably know about it. If that even, because I think Discovery was a hero ship, but people didn't know exactly
Discovery's not the first ship of that name. There's the NX class.
Oh, that's true. That's right, yeah.
So actually, Killick will say Discovery, about 100 years old, 150 years old, right?
She studies your race for a second, and just nods
and
her.
Killick is, serious. He only remembers the one that was a contemporary of the NX-01, which Discovery I think is like NX-02 or maybe NX-04.
Something like that, yeah. She will say to that after a pause. Well, there was another ship called the Discovery that they made later. And if you're not clear to know the details, I can't really tell you much other than to say they were working on alternate warp capabilities, which this is similar to. Unfortunately, they are not compatible with our situation as much as I would like, although that may save us having to dig at intelligence files for too much. The less we have to lean on Starfleet security and intelligence, the better, I say.
Yeah.
Especially in peacetime.
I have a lot of great things to say about Starfleet security. And Killick just doesn't say anything about any other departments that were mentioned.
So, that said, that means your ship's going to be sitting in dock a bit longer between your refit and the profile shift and the warp impeller being installed. If you and your crew want to take trips into system across the Federation, we're going to be here for a while. And we'll probably you might be able to catch a ride on the new ship that's coming in as well. But we'll see how luck will have it. But we're being given a little bit of priority here because it's between me heading if you're heading to Earth or anyone's heading coreward, they can catch the ship in with me. If they're heading elsewhere, then we can transfer out at certain star bases as needed. Unless people want to hang about here in the Dawnland Fringe, there's plenty of settlements already that people may want to look at on their off time. All that to say, though, one thing you may wish to warn your crew is that your next mission profile, given this design, is not only going to be the Pathfinder recon mission that we agreed on, but you're going for pretty far out. So if people aren't up for deep space assignments, they may want to get their transfers in now, rather than waiting till you're already halfway across the galaxy. Relatively speaking.
Killick says, well, most of my family's here, at least my immediate family, and to go visit anyone else would take a more sophisticated astrometrics lab than this, because they're spread across half a dozen cargo haulers.
The joys of a spacer family.
Yeah, Diana may want to go see her parents, but it hasn't been so long since we've seen them. So I'll probably end up staying. There'll be a lot of work if I've got to switch out half the crew. There's going to be a lot of work and a lot of build up to get this new half up to the same standard as those that are transferring out.
Good thing with that, I'll tell you, is that you have everyone in their second cousin from Starfleet Academy wanting, and even more experience, dying to be on the Bonaventure now. Rumors of your adventures have already gone quite wide across the fleet at this point. So you'll have to weed out those who are just eager beavers and those who are truly worthy of serving on a ship that's going on the kind of a cutting-edge mission you're going to be going on. Oh, additionally, you're going to need to choose who your Folk Confederation liaison is, because they are going to offer a liaison to assist you and your ship with the management and maintenance of the warp impeller, since they have far more expertise in the system than we do. And they're going to be teaching our engineers on the Bonaventure to work with the impeller as well. I already have a short list that I've sent to your computer. She checks a pad real quick. Should have got in just about now, I think.
I'll take a look. If she doesn't decide to take any leave, and any of the other captains are interested in taking leave, I wouldn't hate it if you could find a temporary command to help get the experience and qualifications for later command. I don't imagine, haven't exactly spoken on the matter, but I don't get the impression she's going to be interested in starting off in the small boys out patrolling in system. So to start off on cruiser command takes a real shine to the resume.
Mm-hmm. I'll have if you don't mind, I could try to sit down with her and see where she wants to go on it, because I agree. I think she's been a good XO to your ship. I think she's adjusted from security to command. Security tends to struggle outside of wartime, I find. And she's done well, I think, to adjust to the demands of security, but also the demands of a command officer. She's more than just a gunner, you know? Not to insult all security, but, you know, some people are forever security. They have no intention of taking ship command. Outside of Starfleet intelligence, but...
The Admiral's been one slip up away that entire speech about insulting Killick personally. Because Killick personally did come from being literally a gunner, literally someone in Starfleet ground forces meant to protect planets from Klingon warships.
And you're definitely
literally
hearing that.
Come up through Security to Command.
And she's clearly highlighting her background of being, she came up through con and science department, so she has a certain opinion about big mouth security officers telling you, no, don't do that. But exploration, though. I'm gonna go see the thing. There, I outrank all of you. I don't have to listen to you nuts. I mean, keep us safe, please. Don't let me be assassinated.
Despite about to be commanding a out-and-out exploration mission, Killick is 100% not driven by go see the thing. He could care less about going and seeing the thing. But he is interested.
Bad box noises.
What the Federation needs done, and the Federation needs this, so he needs it.
Well, I'll let you talk to your crew and get settled in. If you need me, I'll be in here for the next while before I catch my shuttle. But actually, check the time. Oh no, I have to go to the shuttle bay. She starts walking out. Oh shoot, I'm a little later anyway. But she'll slow down if you try to catch her on the way to the Turbolith.
No, I don't.
She races off. Where do you want to meet your crew? Do you want to meet them on station? Do you want to meet them on your ship? Because ship's docked, it's safe to be on the ship. You just don't be in the crawl spaces. Or anywhere in engineering. Stay out of the way, please. Other than that.
No, the captain, unless the admiral gives contravening orders, the captain's expectation is that Bonaventure is not moving, nor should be expected to be moved for some time. So it's not like we need a ready alert crew, because very shortly, like, the ship will be incapable of movement on a short notice. So the captain's gonna approve any reasonable leave request for all but skeleton, security, and engineering personnel, and even them rotating in and out. So we won't be meeting or maintaining quarters on the ship. Killick is pretty much going to mothball it, and the station will be our home.
Yep.
Because he doesn't expect to have enough people around to have the day-to-day routine mean anything. There's no value in having a doctor making sure I always have at least one, medical personnel in the med bay if literally there's 15 people on the ship.
It's like if you need medical help, just go to the station. We're literally docked to them. And they have better. Well, I was gonna say they have better facilities. They won't for long, because I think the Wolastoq's medical department's not great. It's 2 with advanced medical ward, so it's not terrible, but yeah.
So that would be all of our activities, all of our meetings will be on station.
So in a new scene, do you all want to meet together, or are you each wanting to go off your separate ways? Because at this point, you're not tied to the station, and if you want to go elsewhere in the Federation, I will pull the Federation-wide map. Because her ain't sticking around. She has to catch the shuttle to head to Earth. So, but if someone's going with her, then she'll wait about.
I'd imagine, and Captain can correct me if I'm wrong, but would the captain give Decca a debriefing about this new engine situation? Because I imagine that the captain or someone would want to brief the con department on it. Obviously, engineering knows about it, but it is very relevant to us con folk.
The reverse, actually. Killick will read up on the expectations of the mission. Like, you're to test it, at this power level for this long, and then you need to, do a jump of this distance, kind of like what I'm expected to use the engine to achieve. But how the engine is capable of doing it, the captain expects basically a month before we set well, not set sail, we leave, that the Deca and the engineer will have a full briefing for the captain and the crew. So kind of in the reverse, it's it's hey Breen and hey Deca, here's I understand what Starfleet's asking of me to achieve as a command officer. I need you to tell me what we're gonna be able to do and how we can achieve those goals as a con and an engineering officer.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure, of course, but I just more so meant letting us know that this is a thing that is happening and that we need to start preparing. Because this is going to change up how we do our jobs. Somewhat.
I think the captain will just send the information to you, because there's not much call for a speech or like really the captain does not know enough to give you any information other than this is the new engine and these are the things Starfleet expects of us.
No, that's
so like
totally
bullet
fair.
points. And if you ask any questions, Killick couldn't give you any extra answers.
Right.
It's not that he doesn't want to meet with you, it's that an email could tell you everything he knows.
This could have been an email, sir.
I was gonna, yeah.
So as a note,
an email.
You basically you have a talent that you've been given by the Commodore, soon to be, I forget what's after Commodore in the TOS era or TMP era. I don't think Rear Admiral's a thing yet, but anyway.
No, so in TOS they follow kind of the old American rank system, which took the British position of Commodore and made it a first rank, and then had just Rear Admiral. Whereas now in TNG they follow the current American and the what it was always with the British, which is Rear Admiral, lower half Rear Admiral, upper half Vice Admiral, Admiral, Fleet Admiral.
Very good. So you
are
are
just a Rear Admiral. It's just at some point Commodores will become
lower
admirals. They will be proper admirals.
So you have the additional propulsion system talent, warp impeller, experimental.
Is it a talent that does something, or is it like a trait?
It's pulling from the tradition of...
there's additional propulsion system.
Yeah, and that's from the technical manual, and that's what...
Oh.
That is a trait that says you have impulse, warp engine, and this. Because warp impeller is its own system.
Oh.
Because you couldn't travel the river. If that gets damaged, you can't travel the river system. You can't use warp to do it.
Is it a talent from the technical manual? I thought there's additional propulsion system in the core rulebook.
Is there really? Oh, okay.
I don't think the technical manual has any talents in it. The technical manual talks about these things and it gives you a bunch of rollable tables, but I don't think it actually gives a talent.
Oh, I might be pulling from the wrong source.
It talks, yeah, it does talk about the...
Oh, it might be Utopia Phoenicia then. That's my brain.
In core rulebook...
hold on. Well, it does have a section, the technical manual does have a section on transwarp and other propulsion.
Yeah, it does talk about that.
it does talk about like the spore drive and the protostar drive and the quantum slipstream transwarp.
I bet I straight up got the confused.
Maybe it's only a firstie. Firstie does have it for and actually I think Utopia Planitia does have the alternate propulsion system, but I thought also
here we go.
brought it in.
Hang on. No. Technical manual, page 15. Additional propulsion system.
Well, there you go.
Oh, it's not in the section that talks about. Okay.
Why be easy to read? Thanks, Modifius.
Modifius, always the best at layout.
Yeah.
But thanks for the book
it
anyway.
Just says,
Okay, because this is where we got industrial replicators for the last game.
Yeah.
Where I got that. Okay.
So yeah, you have that is the extra talent you have, and that's the Commodore awarding that for your mission. So you have an experimental warp impeller.
Cool. Ilithia will be accompanying Commodore Hearn back to Earth, I believe.
Ooh, okay.
For her leave.
Killick's planning on hanging about for leave time, staying on the Wolastoq? Or are you gonna go bopping around the sector, the Dunland fringe?
Few days on station to get back up to speed with the family, and then probably the family go out to Folk Confederation, because I haven't gotten to go there as a private citizen and hang about. Like, it was more reasonable for the other officers to be like, oh, hey, let me look at this weird thing and talk to these weird people when we've met them. But Killick always had, like, a definite objective that had to be achieved and really couldn't deviate. When we met them at the gathering place, couldn't really take time to look around because I had to get Lyre on board with our program. And this is a relatively safe planet, so we'll go check them out.
Cool.
As private citizens.
What's Deca gonna be up to?
I recall last time I was on station, I was able to link up with some other Medusans.
Yep.
I think Deca would probably want to do that again, because I was given an assignment that, like, I have to do this thing about the ship and the new drive, and that's gonna take some time, so I don't think I'll be able to take, like, extended leave. But I think they would be happy and satisfied in that work if they're able to also spend some time with fellow Medusans, being in the hive minds temporarily.
Yeah, because you have quite a bit of off time where you have to. It's like, there's no rush. I don't have to rush off and do anything. I literally am basically I'm on extended shore leave, so I don't have to go anywhere for a while.
Yeah.
Deca's gonna shed his box and go frolic in the stars with other
Medusans. They are.
Captain looking over the leave request. Request leave. 500,000 light years. 500,000 kilometers. And be like, what is he gonna do? Like, literally in this system, but not on Wolastoq. and the requested activity is frolic.
Frolic. Whimsical frolicking.
Cultural reattunement to home species. Cough.
I mean, that is. I will say that is very much what it is, because it's, it is actually kind of the norm for Medusans to be part of, like, these little hive minds. Like, not the whole species as a hive mind, but, like,
the little groupings.
Of, like, yeah, like 20 or 30 of us will get
It's
together
gotta be
and
brutal
hive
going
mind.
back to the home planet and everybody's like, "Oh, you haven't been part of the hive mind this last 100 years. You're so out of date with everything that everybody knows." Like the kind of like you've not, like the kind of way some people can view French people from Paris or something, or people from New York, where they consider that the whole world. And
Yeah.
you not having been part of it for even a short amount of time means that you are like completely out of date. That's gotta be brutal with Medusans, because you do just show up by the planet and be like, yeah, everybody's been thinking about the same thing together for the last 100 years, and you haven't been here. And you're like not in with the crowd anymore.
Yeah, but I think that is what Becca is going to do with their time when not working on the assignment from the captain to work alongside the engineering and con departments.
Oh, the captain will try to catch Alethea at the door to the ship, taking her to Earth, and hand her a pad, hand out a pad and say, "I've gotten 30 different requests from the class of from this year's medical class, and that's only Starfleet Academy. I've got a couple from Vulcan Science Academy too, and I think your department's only going to be rated for about 4, maybe 6 full doctors. So I'm going to have to rely on you a bit."
All right, I'll take a look at this while I'm in transit, but not on my vacation, Captain.
The captain says, "You know, I couldn't possibly tell you what to do on your vacation, only that I hope you will have a suitable medical department staffed out next time we meet," as Captain smiles.
I'm sure we will.
And leaves, having given homework.
So
The doctor's too old to take that. Like, nope, that's my vacation time. I'll do the work.
It's like once you get back, you have a bit of readjustment time. You know you're gonna have readjustment time for the ship still being underway. But yeah, which of your yes, computer? No, I'm good. Which of your segments of shore leave do you wish to focus on first? Which one of you wants to resolve first? Better way to put that.
What could be more exciting than frolicking?
Could be more exciting than frolicking. So true.
Yeah. Although I do also have a job.
Yeah, but frolicking's more interesting.
Yeah, so I can start with my frolicking.
Got my yellow card in hand. Put the red one right over here.
Yeah. Oh wait, I can do my thing. Give me a sec.
Are we doing something?
No, just keep going, GM.
Yeah, I was waiting on you there for a second. You and the rest of the Medusans assigned to MSO Wolastoq, and they there's maybe 1 or 2 others on the entirety of the Bonaventure and maybe other ships. There's not a ton of you out here, but a fair number have come along with the Wolastoq. Because the Commodore knows as much she likes to have Medusans, you've learned, since she pulled you all the way out here. And Medusans like exploring, but Medusans don't like being detached for too long. So she knows you don't just bring one Medusan, you try to bring a bunch with you in the fleet, so that way they can kind of commiserate, at least.
Yeah. and it's probably a fairly recent thing, because I know the Medusans haven't been super active as, like, Federation until very recently. Like, I think the Medusans were pretty much doing their own thing until Kirk did some really successful diplomacy with that one Medusan ambassador.
It's been like I think TOS has mostly been like over a decade in the
Right.
past, though.
Oh yes, no. So it definitely makes sense that we have Medusans
Like it's been a little
around
over
now.
10 years since that happened.
Yeah, no. So it definitely makes sense that they're here and that they're around, but it is also a like relatively recent phenomenon.
So there's a variety who, as you meld with the hive mind, you see that there has been a lot of interest in the Dawnland Fringe. There's been interest in the various settlements, where various experiments on the new ways to settle on some of these worlds with their own unique resources and advantages and disadvantages. And the Wolastoq has given plenty of opportunity to study the river that the river folk speak of, which some Medusans are trying to get permission to actually try to enter it in energy form. The river folk seem okay with it. The Folk Federation's okay with it. As long, it's one of those, if you want to, it's, you know, it's not, it to them, they don't necessarily own it. It's something they use and they know how to use. And they hope others, if they want to use it safely. Starfleet is very reluctant to let people jump into to a little understood spatial anomaly that they are only just now beginning, only within the next year or two, they're actually going to send a ship to look around in it, rather than just depend on the anecdotal reports of the Folk Confederation, who aren't as focused on the scientific rigor. They just need to know they need to know the practicalities of it.
In which case, in that case, Decca, at this point, is starting to consider the formings of a proposal that, if circumstances alight themselves, at the very least, they're going to want to start doing some research into how their Medusan nature might benefit the utilization of the impeller.
How do you mean? Just to clarify.
Because you mentioned the thing about Medusans wanting to go and explore the river.
Well, actually, like, jump into it physically, like, in energy form, go into the river.
Yes, correct. That's what I'm saying. Like, being able to utilize my energy form outside the ship, like, in conjunction with some basic impeller tests, and see what I can perceive from the outside. Like, I don't have a specific experiment in mind, but it's one of those, like...
Well, you could try to get on a Folk Confederation ship.
Yeah. Well, it's the thing I'm thinking of is that, like, all these Medusans are saying, oh, you know, we really wanted to explore the river ourselves, but, you know, they're a little testy about it because it's, you know, unproven, whatever. But we're on a ship that is going to have a dedicated, like, river navigating impeller, so I might be in a good position to put forth some kind of, like, research project on that. Oh, you need me to make an insight medicine check. Cool.
It was if 3 gets brought down to 2, because it's presumed someone in the hive will be able to assist you. Someone else has actually... Funny you should think about that.
Unified field theory?
Yes.
Or warp theory?
Unified field theory is 100% what I'm looking for.
Dope. This is what I'm good at. this wouldn't have anything to do with complex calculations. I don't expect.
Not yet. No, you're doing a lot of theorizing and trying to figure out some sort of basic outline for how you might even try to do something like this in a safe and Starfleet-approved manner.
Yeah.
Oh, and as a reminder, there is mission directives. They are that has been updated, but it's your standard away mission, shore leave thing. It's basically don't be a bad person and take care of the ship. Take your shore leave, basically.
Uphold the law.
Uphold the law.
Follow the law.
There went all of my plans.
Just follow the law. Darn. I'm going to give you a threat, Game Master.
Generated a momentum, which will fade when your scene goes away, unfortunately. But
yeah, unfortunately. But, yeah, go ahead.
So, thank you. You were able to, with the help of the hive mind, try to figure out a basic, like you're trying to think of what you all know about Medusan biology, physiology, energy, waveforms, and how that may or may not interact with the safe. Well, like, trying to think back on previous times if experiments have been done, not on the river, but like a Medusan's interacting with weird, like in a nebula near a heavy gravitational field, etc. This is another anomaly. Medusans are not foreign to the idea of having to personally worry about their own actual energy state interacting with something. So you're able to kind of get up to date on that and form a relatively skeleton plan, which will allow you to propose a extended task where you basically get no more than 2 rolls per adventure. Because that's you taking side time to look into this personal project, but there's only so much you can do with that before you're impeding the adventure. Or impeding your mission, I should say.
Yeah, totally fair. Yeah, definitely a side thing, but also gonna bring this up to the captain and science department and engineering heads as like
and medical, because you have to make sure you don't die.
And medical, but as like there's actually kind of a unique opportunity in here with this thing that we've got. With me specifically being on the ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, because we have seen that energy beings and beings of that kind of power can exist on the river, you know, in their native form, as we saw with why am I blanking on the name?
Are you thinking Liar?
Yes, Liar. Yeah.
Well, he used a vehicle of some sort. He is supposedly not an energy-based being. He has a body and all that.
Supposedly he's doing a lot of work.
He's living there. Okay, cool. That's.
Well, actually, the differential actually would be the fact that he's hyperspatial, whereas you're still space-time energy being.
Yes.
Like the Medusans have that ascended into hyperspace existence.
Yeah. Like Medusans are still limited by physical forces.
Yep.
More or less.
Anything else you delve into with your time among your hive?
Just getting the download of what else is new, what has happened on station, in the time since I last melded, because I would not have melded in the aftermath of the no good, very bad thing that happened to me.
Yeah, though that will still be shared to a certain degree because you're hive minding. So I will say there's a certain level. There's some distance you've dealt with. There's some suffering you dealt with, and there's a lot of sympathy and also anger among a lot of people who's like, how dare they use one of us for that? Now, you do get some comfort that some hive mind goes, they've heard of that. Some evil forces do that sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, it's been a problem. In fact, that's what happens to Zero in Prodigy.
Oh really? Oh no.
Yeah. It's a Medusan who gets like captured and is used as like a slaver weapon.
Oh god. Just typing this up.
Prodigy, it's a kids show.
Yeah, Medusan in a box to keep the miners in line. Yeah.
Both versions of Miner, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah. It's wild. Anyway,
I should really finish that show.
The so that is I'd say where, yeah, but it definitely wouldn't have melded last time in the wake of that.
Like immediately after now.
But with time, and especially now that Deca is more not stable, but has properly processed it and is now an internalized memory. They feel more comfortable about hive minding that particular event.
I will. Oh, before I get too far from it, that roll you did earlier about your experiment idea, there is a momentum. You can spend that to ask extra questions about that if you want. You don't have to, but just pointing out you can.
Anything any thoughts from you guys? Because I don't have anything specific.
Oh.
Any psionic
Yeah.
weirdness we can expect?
Yes. How does the psionic factor play into this? Because that was another thing we knew, was that because Lyre is also a very powerful psionic being, correct?
Arguably.
We also think it had some impact on the civilians who were trying to get over it when we thought it was like a wall. And they were trying to like ram through it with their ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, how does my psionic nature factor into that?
So what you're able to discern in Folk Federation knowledge is not just what you know, but also what the other Medusans have looked into. There is a sort of connection between it seems the River Networks connects the psychic presence of every planet it runs through. And that's what causes the problem, because it's like it'd be like trying to tap a live wire without proper shielding. In the sense, but instead of being overcharged with electricity, you get overcharged with psionic emotions of billions upon billions of people.
Yeah. Well, good news is I'm psychically hardened.
And that's why it's dangerous even for people who aren't... Anyone who has a psi rating above 0, which is pretty much every living being. Like androids and robots and such don't have a psychic rating because they don't rise to that level of sapience. But most creatures with any sense of psionic connection at all, just being able to relate to other people, that river is a lot for someone who isn't used to...
Yeah.
It's like someone with very bad eyesight suddenly having perfect eyesight in a bright room. It is overwhelming and painful.
Good news is that's something that Deca can probably well prepare for, because you specifically described it as psychic noise, which is something that Medusans are capable of actually doing. Like, they can generate psychic noise. It's part of telepathic projection.
Okay. Cool.
So,
Oh.
You'll definitely want to be prepared before you think about going in there.
Absolutely. No, like, not doing this without doing the precautions and, running it through all the proper channels. Of course not. But, like, this is something that Deca sees merit in and would like to pursue going forward.
Very good. Oh, there we go. So it spends that. Who is next to be on screen? Or to be resolved in their away mission. Their shore leave, I should say.
I can go.
Go ahead.
Alright.
Okay, so grab you two, because you're going with her to Earth.
Yeah. I don't know if we have anything on the shuttle happening or not, but...
So, on the shuttle ride, there is quite a few... Actually, it should be space one, because you're out in space. The first stop she has to do is... No, not sender. No snapping. Is to go to Starbase 514, because that is the nearest starbase. That's where a lot of people can be dropped off and redeployed, so on. And... Then from there, it's not really a great place for her to go. And you have to avoid the First Federation, so she has to go Starbase 10, and then Sol. So you have a bit of a... It isn't a direct express lane to Sol, because it's you and like a few other people doing things, and they're getting picked up and heading out yet again. Because the shuttle will go... The shuttle goes and meets up with a larger ship, and then that ship goes to a certain point, so the shuttle then moves on. Like, that way you're not taking up space, you have your own little room. Sometimes you're able to get off the shuttle and you get to hang around on the ship. Other times it's better off just to stay on the shuttle.
Yeah, I love the logistics of traveling by shuttle in Federation space. It tickles something. It's like, yeah, no, you meet up with a ship for a while, you go with that ship, but then the shuttle drops off and takes a little jump, gets another ship. It's really fun.
Commodore Hearn, along with a few other people. You're not traveling by yourselves. There's a few people aboard the shuttle. She changes during the journey. She changes out of her normal commander's bomber jacket, but then she goes into like this sort of terracotta and what's the other color I'm thinking of? And like sort of an earthy green, like leaf green, sort of. It's still a bomber jacket, but it's more like an explorer's or a field archaeologist's outfit. And she's
we get it, Indiana Jones.
She looks over to you, and how is Ilithea travel when she's not on duty?
That's a good question.
That's why I asked.
I think that... Oh, yeah, of course.
There we go. Well, those aren't turned off. Whoopsie. I should turn this back on.
I think for the travel duration, she's dressed in that kind of like strange fashion choice kind of thing that you see in like later season TOS, early TNG, where it's like, oh, that's a fabric, certainly. Got like 3 or 4 different textures.
Yeah.
And 16 different patterns. It's very loud.
Yeah.
Lexana chic.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say Jake. I was gonna say Jake Sisko.
Yeah, Jake
Yeah.
Sisko, jumpsuit. Yeah, for the duration of travel, she's in that kind of like, it's been in and out of vogue for the last few decades, probably. It's remarkably modern for the Doctor, for those who are in the know. It's like, wow, you're wearing something that's cutting edge for you.
So, Dr. Elithia, was it? She says as she kind of looks over after probably a couple hours of sitting around and reading. She'd eventually engage with you.
Yeah, Alicia.
Where are you off to? You just stopping by on one of the star bases, or are you heading the whole way to Seoul with me?
Oh, all the way to Seoul. I tend to spend vacation on Earth, catch up with some friends who are getting on in their years, swim in the Aegean.
I was curious.
Check in on a couple descendants of some families who I made some promises to.
Oh. Well, that sounds like it should be a fun visit. Do you mind if I ask you a somewhat personal question?
Not at all.
From what little I know of your people, I'm not familiar with your people having a homeworld in known space. Then again, I've been mostly Coreward, so my ignorance may be derived from that. I've only known I've only known your people to be spotted in and around Seoul or nearby systems.
No, that's correct.
Is it one of those? Is it more of a species secret, or is it something where it's been so far away from the place it's hard to remember the homeworld? I know some species they have native homeworlds, they just never gone back.
Well,
and this isn't an order. I am genuinely just asking out of academic curiosity. I know so little of your people, so I figured since I had the opportunity.
No, I don't mind talking about it. Certainly, I'll say that I've spent a very long time living on Earth, and I would consider it to be my home. There are some of us who make claim to other worlds, certainly. And we did come to Earth. We make no claim to have originated there, of course. I myself was born on a spaceship. Well, something of the sort, anyway.
And she
Exploration takes on a different note when you have all this time.
I could imagine. I am much how Vulcans have a similar or other long-lived species that have the expanse of time, whereas we humans tend to be in a bit of a rush. Some would say a reckless rush, but you know.
You can say that, but I appreciate it. And the Vulcans are much more institutionally focused, I would say. There's a lot of subsuming of the self to the greater cause. It's quite remarkable, and I would say commendable. But it's definitely one of the things I had to get used to when we met them.
Same for you. Some Vulcan on the other side of the passenger compartment.
Wow.
The doctor just laughs at that and grins and nods and says, yes, yes. I'm sure you thought you'd found a voice of reason amongst the denizens of Earth when the Lanthanites stepped forward.
Far easier
Sorry to
to
disappoint.
understand. So yeah, Hearn basically will just chats with you about your people, chats about herself if you probe her about anything, because she's not super. The only thing she's secretive of is stuff she has to be secretive of, much as she's annoyed by that.
Yeah, no. Alethea will ask her about what she's doing, her life. She'll answer questions, but she meanders as I've been meandering. She doesn't quite necessarily always arrive at the answer to the question, but she talks about it quite a bit.
Anything you try to probe her about in particular? Or is it more of a get to know her, you're killing time sort of thing?
Yeah, it's more get to know her.
Give me fitness plus command, difficulty 1. More of a what insights you might discover certain insights about her or about yourself as you're having a chat, and the rest of the passengers just having a chat because you spend a lot of time together on that shuttle. There's only so much reading a person can really put up with after a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could sit in a plane for 12 hours and read a book from cover to cover because I'm that kind of person. But if someone's chatting me up, I'll chat with you too if you want. I'm just reading just to kill time.
Insight focus.
Yeah.
Cool. Rolling 2 dice. Wow. Rerolling that comp. Okay.
You do learn that from Hearn's point of view, she's really glad that the Breen thing didn't escalate into a larger war. Hearn is someone who's had to serve during multiple conflicts, and her focus has been that very NX era. I want to see the stars. I want to go out there and be seeing new civilizations, and that really hasn't been. There's been quite a few times where that's gotten interrupted, and she was scared that the Breen conflict was going to balloon into this whole other thing. And you learn that as much as she doesn't spell it out, she's glad that the combined fleet didn't need to engage the Breen. Like, she went there, she called for help, she knew what the correct procedure was for large-scale fleet combat, but she felt like she screwed up. She wasn't paying attention to the Haida enough, not paying attention to Bonaventure enough, and she let this happen. But she's glad that her captains fixed it without her having to meddle in it too much, because she remembers the days of being a captain and hating it when admirals did that. Like, let me do my job. You don't know what's going on out here. Shut up for a second. Now, does she still have to write you guys up for things? Sure. But that's because that's just, rules and regulations. She has to say something.
Any admiral would have.
Yeah. Some admirals will have come down on you even harder, maybe even started demoting and transferring people out of sheer anger. But she's like, I'm following the law. I'm following regulations. I'm not going to yell at them too much.
I'm not vindictive.
Now, my superior is going to yell at me like crazy, but whatever. So she still has a little bit of aftershock of being yelled at by her superior out of Starbase 514, who's like, why did you let this happen? I didn't let nothing happen. It just happened, all right? It escalated. Things happen out here.
Yeah. I will say, for the Commodore's benefit, in her probing of me, because she seemed interested in, like, a Lanthanite homeworld or whatever, Alethea doesn't dodge the question. But she does kind of eventually talk around to the point that, like, she never encountered their homeworld.
It's not that I'm trying to dodge you on. I actually don't know it very well. I know its name.
Yeah.
I could point it to you on a map somewhere, but I've never really been there. Most of us haven't.
Yeah, I think
why it's complicated.
Actually, I'm gonna make a little bit of world building decision here because we know very little about the Lantanites.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say she doesn't have the capacity to point to it on a map.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, and will describe that she spent, probably the first few centuries of her life at least on board a slower than light spaceship.
Oof.
What other species would call a generation ship.
Yeah. So you learn that about between the trip between MSO Wolastoq and Starbase 514. New passengers come and go. You get to get off and kind of stretch your legs for a bit. You get transferred to a different starship that's flying all the way to Starbase 10. So it's a much longer trip, but it's longer in distance, but it's shorter in speed because now you're on a proper Starfleet high-speed vessel, whereas this trip from Wolastoq to Starbase 514 was like, no, we didn't get to use any of our Starfleet ships to do this. We had to use a freighter to haul us there, and they're not very fast. That's why she has to do these little hops, because she's getting faster. Like one slow ship, very fast ship, and somewhat slower ship, because she's just going to Sol. And even then, she actually could, as a Commodore, go, I can get a faster ship if I want, because I can pull rank. Mm-hmm. I get priority.
Yeah, you can have a ship divert its course slightly.
Yeah.
Or majorly.
So on the way to Starbase 10, is there anything you wish to research or look into? Because now you're well within range of Memory Alpha. You're well within the Federation. You're running into other people from across Starfleet and the Federation in general. So is there any larger questions about, or any personal projects, or any larger questions about the Federation at current? Or about her, you can still continue poking her. At this point, once she goes to Starbase 514, she has a lot of homework she has to do. She's during this part of this leg, she's doing a lot of preparing for her talk on Sol, because she's going to be grilled like crazy to get the promotion she's up for. Because it's not just an up; it's not just a Starfleet being okay with it. The Federation Council has to be okay with it.
Right. Actually, one thing that I think Alethea will do is she'll offer to help out her a little bit with that, with any insights she might have, if she happens to know anybody who she can provide some personal insight on the matter, that kind of thing.
In that case, she is doing what's more reason? Not present. She's not talking to anyone yet. She has to perform essentially a reason command. Difficulty, it's a trait she's developing for herself. Difficulty 2. She does not have a focus in this regard. She has personal allocation, starship assignment, winemaking, and cartography. So there are other ones, but they're not relevant to her current assignment. She will use some of her own personal threat to call it momentum, and she's going to buy 2 extra dice.
Alright.
She has a target number of 13. You may, since you're the main character here, you could push for threat to be spent for her to buy extra dice. But it would be like 3 threat for her to have a full match. She doesn't dedicate all her personal threat for that. She's just trying really hard because she knows she's supposed to. Plus, she's not really good at this sort of thing.
Sure, yeah, the doctor likes Hearn from what little she knows of her so far, and has liked the decisions she's made. So, yeah, spend the threat.
Oh. She generated at least 1 momentum.
Make an assist. Don't think I have a focus here.
Hey, 1 more.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot. The big problem that you learn that she has to deal with is proving to the council she has the council's interests in mind as much as Starfleet's mission. Like, Starfleet has a mission that she's supposed to uphold. Everyone's supposed to. But once you get to Admiral, now you have to start thinking, what the council's next moves are, what its platform is. And you it's harder to get wild gun as you get higher up in the ranks because you're closer and closer to the council being having to be reported to much more directly.
Yeah.
Because by the time it gets all the way down to you, the council doesn't know about Dr. Ilathea's opinions on interstellar affairs. Frankly, they would talk to whoever the highest ranking doctor is and then loop them in, rather than ask what you think in particular.
Yeah,
unless you're an expert in a very specific field. That's more of a medical than a political
And
thing.
I mean, Lithia is an expert in a very specific field. Not relevant to this, though.
And the biggest hurdle that Hearn has to answer, and you discover it while you're talking with her about it, is that she is very anti-war. She is a staunch dove, if that wasn't made already clear, but her career has shown her to be very anti-war, always pushing for peace every time, any chance she has, which for more wartime-minded species, like Andorians, really find her annoying. She's not very popular among Andorians at all. The Tellarites don't mind that she's argumentative. If anything, they like her because whenever during wartime she's great. During peacetime, they find her a little too go along with the flow sort of thing. It's like you're not as argumentative anymore. When we're in peacetime, I don't have to be. The most argumentative she was for Survey Expedition Delta to get it going, because no one wanted to do this crazy coreward dive beyond the known borders.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we'll send out one ship. We don't need just one ship. I need a fleet. I need a flotilla to go out there because we don't know what's there.
Well, I can't say that I know Counselor Tomas too well personally, but I do know her wife, and start spinning in a couple personal connections.
Ooh, I could have a meeting with them ahead of the meeting, because I'm not supposed to meet with the counselors directly, but nothing says I can't meet with family and get some insights. Oh, I'm gonna be threading a needle here. Oh, I hate doing this.
Well, she's very professional.
So, aren't we all, supposedly? She mutters.
Of course we are, yes.
What
I mean is she has a very good separation of work and personal life. I think you can get some insights into her wife's work without breaching any sort of social boundary.
Okay, she takes notes. And there's various other people. She's like, what about this person? What about that person? Some people she mentions that she notes that she has connections, and clearly is a person who's spent a lot of favors in her Commodore ship on Earth trying to find... She's basically had a whole season of, I'm on Sol, please give me a fleet. Please, please. Please. Yeah. Please, shut up, Hearn. No. I will not shut up.
Give me a fleet. I said I want a fleet. Give me a fleet.
Yeah. But is there any momentum spent you wish to ask to kind of peer into the Federation Council and the Federation's mind at the moment? Because between you and Hearn, you're getting a pretty clear picture of what the Federation Council's like right now.
I don't think Alicia cares at the moment. She's like, yeah, I'll help out this person who I like by connecting them to this other person who I know. She still functions very much on that level in regards to politics.
With that, then, as you begin your next leg to Sol, we will end that scene for now, because we're going to have stuff happen on Sol in particular. As we cut back to MSO Wolastoq, grab the two Killiks, back to sector map, and Killik. There are at least 2 worlds you're aware of. I haven't marked it up here, but there's another one up here. If I could draw, that'd be great. Up here. But there is the mission area one where you met the stone folk, but there's also other people who are here. But the large the bulk of them are stationed up here on a world in this subsector. So do you want to visit the outskirts or the small camps, and there's a few stone folk there, or do you want to go to where the bulk of the folk confederation are? Or do you want to go somewhere else? Any of the other marked parts on the map?
Are the bulk of them on the planet we originally visited?
No, this is the one where it's mostly stone folk. This was the place they were at last, and they moved up here for the sacred meeting. Like they seem to be going slowly this way.
World there?
Huh?
There's nobody living on that M class anymore?
There is, yep. It's just not the bulk of them, that's all.
Oh, okay.
It's like the stone folk, the beast folk. There's some star folk who are hanging about. There's actually some river folk who are on Wolastoq and on the planet, because it's like, well, we're here for the Impeller program.
Yeah, with there being some this close, and the end of the conflict with the Breen will only be something we see in hindsight, right? Because there's not going to be an official treaty or anything.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, in 20 years we'll be able to look back and say this is when it ended. But right now I can't confidently say that. So this feels like the better option.
The safer of the two, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Up. So, I think I have the right planet. I have the star system. But do I have the right planet side? Ow. Sorry for the blast of white there, everybody. All right, that hurt me too. Planetfall? Yeah, Planetfall. I knew it was here somewhere. Whoop.
Yeah. Oh, and there's those assholes in the rocks. To just like spring out and be like, FIFO, fiddly dumb, tell me the riddle or I'll shoot you.
Oh boy, Captain.
Oh, tell me that's not how they acted.
That's, Captain, that's pretty spacist.
Spacist. There's of course the beast folk here. And of the star folk.
Do they? I haven't been here as a private citizen. Do I like show up somewhere and this, there's a stone person behind a marble counter that's like, purpose of visit, anything to declare?
No, you basically can beam down. I'm actually marking where you're beaming down because there's at least 4 places you could go. I'm just seeing who's here. We'll say Lyre's here, sure. So I wasn't sure if Loon or Lyre would be here. Blue Sky is probably not on this planet. If she's anywhere. She's not near the Federation for a little bit.
I thought she was dead.
She's missing. Her last known location was on a ship. She probably died, but then again, she's Starfolk. Maybe she didn't die.
Okay, well, let's hope she is far away. I'm not looking to resolve that right now.
Click. So there's Lyre with some other Starfolk, which I'll mark here. But Lyre, definitely a notable who would be here at the moment. So there are a few areas you can go. You could beam down on just an open bit of the world just to explore the world on your own. But if you wanted to be among beast folk who communicate through body language, you can... At this point, the Federation can communicate with the beast folk, who basically just look like regular animals, like, deer, cats, large cats, wolves, anything like that. The beast folk are especially intelligent sapient animals, who do have a spoken language among themselves, but it's primarily a body language and pheromone type communication that if you have your communicator set the right way, you can understand them and you can communicate to them a little bit, but it's you know, they don't have cities, they don't have villages, they live in the wild. They're just a lot nicer to star folk like yourselves or river folk. They're way more friendly than a wild animal might be otherwise, unless they're like really starving, at which point they will tell you, they will warn you to stay away from them.
Starfleet research is gonna be very interested in furthering development on that, because they want to figure out how to communicate with cetaceans at some point.
Yeah. Then of course there's the stone folk, who are the most populous on this world. Stone folk tend to don't move. The river folk move around a lot from world to world. Beast folk come along or become enlightened by the presence of star folk, and then they kind of become beast folk themselves. Stone folk are the ones that were here already. They have their own major settlement here. Well, they have their much smaller settlement and then the massive settlement out in the mountains. There are some river folk who are here, they're larger here as part of the, like I said, the Impaler program. They're not where, because the bulk of their tribe of their folk are in another part of the sector. But they're here. They have a small like campsite they've set up for themselves, and their ships land in the river. So you know this is kind of the dock area for them. And then beyond that river, there is the sacred tree in this area where the starfolk tend to gather within the eaves of this massive tree to talk among themselves. But it is made clear in Folk Confederation culture, it is 100% fine if you're not starfolk. If anything, you qualify to be considered starfolk of a sort. You're more starfolk than riverfolk. But then again, everyone in the Federation technically is starfolk because you have you can use a warp ship. You know, you can travel beyond the river. But even if you were riverfolk, it is not like insulting to speak among them. They don't mind at all. Though the starfolk are the most, they're either very advanced space-time people like yourself, or they are hyperspatial beings. So they have a very odd, cryptic view on space-time, since that's like you trying to talk to someone who lives in subspace. It's hard for you to communicate to them to a certain degree because you live on a different dimension than they do on the norm. So it depends on you what you and your wife wish to engage with.
Riverfolk, I think.
Is this the right one? I don't think so. It is. I couldn't remember which song I used for them. When you beam in near the camp, because you wouldn't beam straight in the middle of their tents, 'cause, you know, that's just irritating and dangerous. But you beam out a little. There's a little area where they've set up. Well, Starfleet would have set it up for them. There's basically like this triangle where it's this semi-permanent. Like little markers. It's not like those sticks where you make beaming easier. What are those called? Pattern enhancers. They don't have like pattern enhancers set up there, but they do have like area that it lets people know up top that this is a place you can beam into and it doesn't disrupt the nearby settlement. So you're not just randomly guessing where's okay, because these people have tents that move around. Sometimes they range out. Like it's better just have a designated area where you know it's always clear. They know not to put stuff there. When you beam in, no one really takes note of you beaming in, because people from the station do come here every so often. Sometimes they go there to call the station to beam them up. And you see this collection of quickly assembled tents and at least one wooden house made of the local woods. And in the river, you can see a few of their floating ships that are kind of lit up even in the morning light.
Anyone I recognize that I've met before or is on the Admiral's short list?
I don't know why it's so stubby. Not that. Give me Insight command difficulty 1. You just kind of give a glance around, see if there's anyone you recognize here. Or insight security, but I assume command's better.
Gonna take your momentum.
Yep.
And I'm gonna use a star cross. Oh no, I'm not gonna do that because I don't think I have a value. Uh-oh, I only rolled 1 dice for some reason. So that is a success and a con.
Do you want a complication or a threat increase?
You can give me a con.
You succeed in recognizing some of the people from the sacred meeting you had not that long ago. However, you do recall when you think back to that meeting that these people were among the more bellicose Breen fighter types. Like they really were ready to go, and you kind of know that they're probably a little irritated that was because some people may construe your interference with Blue Sky's vengeance. But then again, you didn't stop her, so you're kind of in this uncertain mode of you're not sure if they're happy with you or they're mad with you at the moment, because you haven't talked with these people in a few weeks, if not months. So you're not sure if they're going to be happy with you or mad at you. Others are people you don't, unfortunately, people you don't recognize they're just, well, that's just it. You don't recognize who they are. You just know they're river folk based on the general physiology, the clothes they're wearing, and so on. But those people, they were like the guards, the warrior types among their folk.
Do general introductions. Hi, try to make some friends. Kind of meet people.
There's 3 distinct groups you could meet with. There are, of course, the more security-minded people. They're here to make sure things are safe. If a wild beast came this way, they can keep them safe. There are people who are... They don't have a Starfleet per se, but they do have people who are... what they would call tool users, TUL, and that's the name of the ships they use. So their version, that's as close to spacefarers as you get. They're the people who would know how their ships work, how the impeller works, how to navigate the stars, so on. They're the travelers. They're the ones that usually take. They're the ones that if others take tools, they follow these people who their only job is to go up and down the river. That's their thing. Whereas other groups, that's not their specialty. So these people would generally be command con type people, whereas these guys would be security command at best. And the last group is your general, just people who came here just because they're family or they wanted to. If you're heading this way anyway, let's check out that planet. Let's see how the animals are doing. Let's say hi to some stone folk friends we have. For them, they're kind of touristing a bit. But no one will turn you away. Everyone seems to be like, oh, hi, welcome to our camp, so on. There doesn't seem to be any sort of immigration and border control sort of thing. They're just, oh, hey, it's you people. Yeah, go on.
Actually,
out a little bit.
The security-focused people, they might gravitate towards seeing if they're interested in some friendly athletic competition. Some competitions that are, let's go on let's go on a hike, or let's. Have you seen this Earth game where we all run over each other trying to get the ball over here? No, not that one. This one. No, not that one. This one. Because both Killicks are do have a pride for fitness, and both are kind of command security. That's where their comfort zone is. So, unless those people turn out to hate Killick or Tom, they're probably the ones we could generally enjoy a more kind of robust or athletic or adventurous time with, I think.
You're looking. They will make the. What you gather is the bare minimum etiquette at first, and there's a certain sense that there's a resentment that they just aren't voicing. If they go along with stuff, they're kind of like they're humoring you, but there's clearly some seething. There's something they have some issue with you. They don't seem to. They talk to Diana just fine, so she gets to enjoy herself, and they go, "Oh, hey, yeah, sure, you want to do this? Oh, that sounds like fun, yeah." But whereas you get this. You kind of feel like you're being left out a little bit. And it's like, so it's presence command or security difficulty 3 to, okay, guys, seriously, what is it? Like, what, like, did I tick you off? Did I say something I wasn't supposed to say? Like, you seem to have a problem with me, so what is it? And because you don't have, as far as I know, you have nothing against the river folk in any way.
No.
So they, for some reason, are mad at you, and you don't know why. They're not friggin' telling you.
Probably until it came to deciding whether or not to start a war with the Breen. I was probably on their side of things, but
yeah,
the Federation's needs supersede Killick's need for getting into a fight. So when those came into a conflict, he now probably wouldn't fall under their more bellicose view, but at the time period they're thinking about, like, why didn't you do this? He did agree with them. It just didn't work out that way. Focus in inspiration or negotiation.
Inspiration. Depends how you want to approach them on it, I suppose. Inspiration would be trying to lean on the fact that you're trying to kind of give them trying to communicate your value, give peace a chance. Like, you two were once very warlike, but now you've kind of you've eased off that idea nowadays. And you're trying to get them to kind of not necessarily to convert them, but it's like you're trying to get them to understand, like, I just changed my ways. So, I get what you're coming from, but here's how I feel about it. Whereas negotiations, look, whether or not you agree with me or whatever, how about I do you a favor? I'll set up the ball field. I'll grab that for you. And eventually, I'd say, okay, well, we're kind of being jerks now because we're being mean to someone who's helping us out. So, okay, whatever our grudges are, we'll just let it go.
Does Killick know if the at least the river folk, if not all the folk, have they ever expressed that they've had to actively engage in a industrial scale war? Like, not just like we bumped into some people who didn't understand us, and there was a couple of shots exchanged, but it kind of fizzled out. But like if we all don't pull together, we may lose our civilization.
See if you happen to know that. Insight Command or Security Diff 1, because that's not something you'd know off the top of your head, but if you give it a think, you might remember reading about them. In their history, from what you've read up about them, what they communicated with the Federation, large-scale industrial warfare is exceptionally rare for them. It has happened, over the millennia, but it's a rare thing. It's usually if it turns into something, the whole folk confederation starts banding together to create what is needed for the moment, and then once the wartime has passed, the war things are pulled apart and then reused for peacetime use.
Has it happened in the lifetime of these specific people?
Let me think. When it did happen, these people were children. The last time it happened.
Okay. Then Killick's gonna approach this not directly for the question of inspiration negotiation. Killick's not gonna approach this directly in a confrontation. Just over time, as the situation presents itself, kind of bring up facts or knowledge he has about having lived through it and been someone who didn't really come out of the industrial, they might destroy our civilization kind of war as a hero bathed in glory, but is someone who was almost broken, if not actually broken, and couple that with occasionally having hoping that Diana gets the implication of where Killick is going with it, and since they like her also providing some of that information is they have a justifiable reason to want to go to war with the Breen, but so did the Federation when we went to war with the Klingons, and the two of us barely survived that and have to live with like lifetime consequences of that conflict. So like two living monuments to, yeah, you can do it and you can win and survive, but you might only just survive as a participant. So when however that speaks to you on negotiators and inspiration, or maybe I talked you out of either of those working.
I'll follow under inspiration because it feels like a extension of giving peace a chance. It's your you gave it a different spin than I did, but you're on the same line, I think. It's like it definitely I get where you're coming from, guys. I understand, but here's my 2 cents on the topic and why I did what I did. It's like, oh, okay, well, they may understand that and go, oh, I get it.
I will spin this towards the directive, get deck of legs. I mean, mission directive 2, as Killick is not closed off to being reminded the other direction. Like, Killick's gonna, Killick is not a dove. He does have the value, give peace a chance now, but he still has the value of it's his duty to protect those who cannot, or will not protect themselves.
Yeah.
So he's not ready to beat phasers into plowshares.
Yeah.
And these people did suffer an invasion by hostile slavers who gave no diplomatic recourse. So Killick's open to being reminded. Actually, he's not thinking that this would happen, but if it did happen, that he's reminded, sometimes you do have to put the chips down and go to war. Like, the other side didn't give you a chance to do this peacefully. They just, like the Breen, refused to talk to you and just kept doing violence. So on that line, he's open to a bit of growth either way, either as a reaffirmation of being a hawk, or cooling them towards being a dove.
I follow
that
you.
Works.
That works for me totally. All
right, and I'm gonna further throw in all the resources by now using the Starcross. because actually, did I get that for something that was particularly war related? Let me see if it's. When did I get that? Starcross for. Oh, I started the game with that one. For taking command of USS Challenger after a Gorn torpedo eliminated the ship's senior officers. So yes, Killick will use that and being like a couple of times like, oh yeah, I was, first time I had to use phasers in combat, I was kind of all shaky, but Commander Tvek, really like showed me the ropes and how to handle tactical systems in combat, and was scared on the first away mission I had where I had to deal with a hostile group of pirates, but Captain Van Nice really saw me over on that one, and then just kind of mention the first time I got real recognition for command ability was because all of those people I just mentioned got annihilated at once by a Gorn torpedo because of our inability to resolve our problems with the Gorn.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, oh yeah, all of those nice people who really helped me out just like gone in an instant. Did get to say goodbye. Not that I needed to justify using the metal, but I wanted to.
Made more sense to you, yeah.
Presence command. So that looks like 2 successes.
Unless someone wants to activate, as it were, Diana Killick to assist. She's
not a supporting character because I didn't know how often she would come up, and this is only the second time she's been on screen. It might, if you're okay with it, we might change that. I was gonna say as the other thing I would do while we're down here is have the conversation with her, like, does she want to come on the Bonaventure with the kids and everything, because that might see her take an active commission, because what else are you going to do on a ship that's in deep space, and in that case she might become a supporting character again, or a supporting character, and what she thinks about you becoming a Commodore, but those kind of separate from this. Right now, she's not a supporting character.
Yeah, for now, yeah, I forgot that she's. I basically treat her as an NPC that I choose. I choose whether or not she helps you or not. There's no reason for looking at her sheet. There's no reason for her not to help you, especially you. But it's like, yeah, it's not like you're fighting one of her values or anything like that, or getting her to act against a value. Otherwise, I'd probably go, But no. She chimes in her aspect of it as well, and her viewpoints on it, what she knew from back then, because she has her experiences too. But
Killick got locked up at the start of the war. She's the one who actually had to live through fighting it.
Yeah. And they eventually come around to it, and what you're able to discern from this is that the older warriors who would have been fighting this, like they would have been old enough to actually see the war. As far as they're concerned, it's the war of their generation. They fought a massive conflict against a force that was out to not this part of space. They were in a different quadrant entirely, and they basically ran into a massive autocratic force that was gonna bleed into basically wanted to seize their territory. So for them it was kind of existential. It was we don't want this war, but it's either that or we have to, even if they pick up sticks and leave, which they totally could have done, that means that part of the river is forever dangerous. They can never trust to go that way again, which they weren't willing to let that go. The Star folk were behind them on this, so in that case it was a war they had to do. For the young people, they see that as a sort of a legendary war.
Okay, it's a situation like their fathers fought in the Second World War, and now they this new thing called Vietnam is coming up, and they need to get involved because there's some glory to be had that they remember how all the praise and virtue heaped upon the people from the last war, and don't really recognize that this one would have been different.
Yeah. And it was clear that their elder was kind of following the tune of the youth. Like, there's a certain level of the elders were trying to advise them, hey, we probably shouldn't. We don't think this is a good idea. But if there is a war, we're not the ones fighting it, you are. So if you're super keen on taking on the Breen and fighting for the justice of the Folk Confederation, we're not going to stop you. We just don't think it's a good idea. Which also meant that some of them, the older folk, look upon Blue Sky and they're sad about it, that they felt that she was forced into that situation. When a river folk ascends to star folkdom, it is supposed to be this beautiful thing. It's this idea of the folk being more connected to each other and the stars and the universe. It's supposed to be this sort of almost mystical religious experience. And she was awoken in a time of sorrow and grief. I mean, hooray, she ascended, but at the other hand, the reason she did is terrible and tragic. To the young people, it's like, well, let's follow her lead. Let's kick some. This is our call to do the right thing and destroy the Breen and their evil. It's like, So, but after you talk to them, they kind of get where you're coming from, because you're around their age for some of them. Like, the elders are much older than you are, but these people are around your age or younger. So the fact that you're kind of a calmer voice about it and showing that you're not just some dove who's scared of war. It's like, no, I'm not scared of war. I'm just telling you, war's scary as hell. And sometimes it ain't worth it. Even if it is for the right cause, sort of thing. So after that, they ease up. They eventually start letting you, eventually turns into, they will trade, not war stories, but the warriors have occasionally run into fights from time to time, or they'll teach you a new exercise that they do among the warrior class. Well, not warrior class, but people who do the warrior job. Better way to put that. And they ask about what you do, what's your job like.
And that's the time Killick will ask when they're like teaching some new technique that they know that's like a cultural touchstone for them. That's Diana's job. She's been a tactical advisor as a reservist. Killick will take that time to see if she would be interested in getting back into that as a full-time officer, or whether it's just like this is kind of a cool thing, but I couldn't do this kind of thing permanently again.
And on that, I'll slide away from your scene, because I do have a thing I'm going to do with that, I think.
Because I think it'd be a good way to have the answer for the Commodore before too long of whether Killick's going to go for Commodore. We'd kind of have to have this question answered first.
We circle back one more time for the episode to Lieutenant Junior Grade Deca, who is in fact muted and perhaps is away still.
I'm here.
Damn.
Yay.
I mean, yay.
You said we're swinging back to Lieutenant Junior Grade Deca, and I said yay.
So at this point, we are now covering the time skip, because it will be many months before the ship is underway again. Hence why the Commodore was fine with people going across the Federation if they wanted to, because frankly, she's going to between her promotion and the Bonaventure's refits and mission profile and everything else, there's this massive thing where it's like, you guys really don't have an assignment for a while. So for the next year, what does Deca focus on in this time of development and rest?
I think Deca will at the start, perform the duties that they were sort of instructed to do. That being start getting involved with the installation of the new drive on the ship, familiarize yourself with it as best you can. Although I will say, even with regular, what are effectively spacewalks, with fellow Medusans, which are nice, and it is nice for them to get out. I would definitely say as the year winds on, Deca really starts to get restless. And wants to get out there again. Because, although I keep forgetting, during this year, does the Wolastoq move anywhere else, or does the Wolastoq mostly stay where it is? Okay.
They move around because they move to support the hideout or the Market Brook. Like they'll try. Sometimes they have to be closer to one or the other. Sometimes the Market Brook or the hideout come in during the year to go, oh hey, we need to get repairs. We're taking our shore leave.
Okay. Well, in that case, it's a little less restless because they are still able to sort of see new places and go different places. But it's still very different from the feeling of being able to plot your own course, even if it's a course that you were instructed to plot by the captain.
The captain of the Wolastoq, the station commander, Captain Satal, would point out to you if you want. I mean, you're on shore leave, but if you want to get back on duty a little sooner and get some extra hours, because you're a junior officer and you're on a ship that's done really well, you're probably on track to hit lieutenancy soon. And to cement that, it may not be a bad idea. If you want, he can't order you. He's not your captain. If you want to volunteer to help out on the Haida or the Wolastoq or even the Market Brook, he's sure any of them would be glad to have you if you want to. If not, he's perfectly happy to have you on his station and just be around and enjoy the trip like most of the inhabitants. Because he'd clue in that you're being restless. He's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna help out this junior officer who's kind of gunning for who's this close to a promotion. I don't want them to be discouraged.
Yep. In which case, they might do a short, like a
month or two.
Yeah, I was going to say like a month or two. I would honestly actually say aboard the Margaret Brook. Because that's something that logistics ships do need. They definitely need a solid navigator.
And plus, their navigation department's massive compared to any ship in the fleet.
So, in that case, I'll get in like a month or two aboard the Margaret Brook just to see how the Margaret Brook functions. In which case I reason con diff 1.
So what this is, just to give you a context, this is if you succeed, you will qualify to take on a shall we say a season ender or season beginner trait. Like over the year, you learned something during your time away from the Bonaventure, and you're coming back to the Bonaventure with a new trait that you've learned. If you fail, you tried your best, but you'll have to do more learning on the thing. Now that said, you took on a task that's con related aboard a ship that is really good at that. So if you're going to learn about new con inspirations, the Margaret Brook's the best ship in the fleet to do that.
Okay.
And actually, because I have threat, I'm sadly going to make your life harder because the Margaret Brook's going to run into some difficult missions that will push the limits of your abilities, because you realize the Margaret Brook has limited ways to deal with some problems because they don't have guns because they're a Sydney class.
Yep. Well, you know what? Seems like a good time to use this. I would like to spend a determination, and I think any of my first 3 values would apply to this.
I think they all apply against you. You'll have to challenge all 3 of them to do this now.
I remember I have not gotten used to having veteran.
Oh, you didn't check to see if you kept it. You might want to see if you kept it or not. Because that's that's pretty painless.
Roll a d20 under your control.
Oh, okay. Well, I am a not controlled dump character, so that's good.
Yeah.
Oh no! Come back, my spoon.
Oh,
Oh, come on! What's the luck on that? So what value are you thinking there, Deca?
I am...
It's just rough.
You know what? I think I might go with teamwork makes the dream work.
I'd agree with that, especially given the Margaret Brooke crew.
Yeah. So, it's kind of fun that Deca will actually become quite familiar with the Margaret Brooke crew. Yeah, especially its con department, but just in general the Margaret Brooke crew.
Because you're going from a ship that because with a 4, that means if a department's 4, that means it has multiple rooms dedicated in its own massive department of people. So it's not like you have a navigator. It's like you have a whole section of navigators, a whole section of pilots, a whole section of propulsion experts.
Which makes it easy for Deca to slot in and out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, you want to join it? Oh, please jump in. Tell us what you know.
And then they find out, oh, wow, this little box knows a lot.
And also, I think, as I recall, the Bonaventure's con is jumping from, in its refit, is jumping from 1 to 3. So you're going to get used to learn how a larger department, I mean, their department's way bigger than the Bonaventure ever will be for now, for next while. But you're now having to know, looking back with the new transfer, that there's going to be this massive change where you're not going to be... Being a lieutenant may be something that helps you keep your post on the bridge, because you're going to have a ton of competition coming aboard for your job and your fellow pilot, your fellow con officer's job.
Yeah, because the other 3s were commanded by a lieutenant commander and a commander.
Yeah.
The odd one out was medical, and that's because medical always have higher ranks because of the greater demands.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, in which case, you said this is reason con, difficulty of 2. I spent a determination. Focus of stellar cartography or helm operations.
Stellar cartography, that makes more sense since you're a junior officer. They probably have lieutenant full or lieutenant commander for their con department, frankly.
Keen navigator trait.
Yep. It's a diff 1.
Probably have a multi-role XL. Lieutenant commanders like a multi-role XO.
Probably, yeah. Especially this era, they don't have singular XOs. Don't become a thing all that often until
especially not
TNG era.
Yeah, especially not on the scale 3.
Yeah,
Very true. Okay. Well, I still generate a momentum off the determination spend.
So,
Yep.
So you can now create a trait that reflects on what you learned on the Margaret Brooke. Like, you went on a few missions with them, and they had some pretty tough ones for them. And you were part of their support. You were a supporting character as far as they were concerned. But you with your role, you stood out as a hero character on their ship. Like, oh, holy crap, we're so glad you were here. You really helped us out on that.
Mm-hmm. I know. Logistical expertise.
Sure, that makes sense to me. And you generated a momentum. It is going to fade when your scene ends. So, is there any extra questions you wish to ask about your time in the Margaret Brooke, or anything about the con department that I may be able to reveal to you in this time period?
Yeah. I feel like I do have one. I just got to think for a moment. The con department on the Margaret Brooke. So I mean, you might answer this for me without having to spend the momentum. But I assume like the the trade-off that we have between the two is that the Margaret Brook doesn't have a specific talent for its con department, whereas we do.
Oh, they have the improved impulse drive.
Ah, yes. Okay.
And they also have the special rule lucky, but that's not really a system. That's just the crew is super lucky.
And extensive shuttle bays too.
Yep.
Like when you came to the when you were first signed on to Bonaventure had a number of we had like 6 scale worth of small craft, but now we only have 3. The Margaret Brook itself now I think has like 2 scale, which is which means it could hold a if they cleared out half the ship, they could hold a runabout.
Yeah, I imagine that was like one of the tough missions that Deca learned a lot from, was like a mission in which they had to help coordinate a bunch of shuttlecrafts all at once, and they were like, oh, I never have to do this on the Bonaventure because we don't have that many.
Yeah. And it's like, and we're on a time limit because if we sit here too long, we are kind of in the way, because planetary defenses will defend the planet from whatever danger is coming. But if we sit here, we're actually hindering them, so we have to be done and out of here, like, now.
I think you may have helped us. Maybe you weren't here for that episode, but there was an episode where we had to jet across space to help the Haida with something, but the GM kept throwing up, like, oh, there's this weird thing you see over here, there's this weird thing over here. So we just kept, like, popping out shuttlecraft to go on one-off missions to look at little weird things. But I think that's the only time we used, like, and got a real benefit out of having multiple shuttlecraft.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which that seems to be their thing probably as well, is that they're very dependent on their shuttles.
Yep. So that's something that Deca did in sort of the off time, and then eventually they came back to the Wolastoq and threw themselves full in on doing those doing those preparations about the engine that the captain requested, basically to help them start getting back in the mindset of being a part of the Bonaventure crew again.
Very good. Off we go. As Hearn and Alethea arrive at Seoul, and you have a nice several months before you ever have to grab a shuttle back to the Donlin Fringe. And Hearn's basically stuck here for a good chunk of that because she has to play getting promoted games, political games, and then while she's at it, she also has to get another ship to head out to join her fleet, and so on and so on. So she's around if you want to talk to her. She's on Earth. She's either on Earth or she's at Earth Space Dock. But what is Alethea focusing on for the year before she returns?
Well, I think she does a few things. She takes kind of the thing that's anchoring her, though, is she takes a guest lecturer position, I think. Teaches, like a 900 level PhD course. Don't know if that's at Starfleet Academy or at a civilian institution. Civilian institution is probably more likely, honestly.
Well, there's Starfleet Medical. They teach lots of stuff, but you could teach on a civilian level. You're a doctor, so you exist in... Medical doctors, as I understand it, exist in both worlds when it comes to naval service. They are a medical doctor, and they're part of the medical academic field, but also they're part of the military, as it were. Or in this case, the Starfleet arm of medical.
And whether you're at civilian or Starfleet places, you might be able to kind of work in the last semester with someone who's like, near the top of their class and they want to come out and work with us.
Mm-hmm.
Have a protege.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing that's going to be anchoring her the most. And then The other thing she'll be doing is maintaining her, like, wide-reaching social network. It's, checking in on friends, spending some last days with people who are near the ends of their lives. Like she said to the Commodore, checking in on descendants of people, families who she has known throughout some generations.
Jeez. For lack of a better thing, difficulty. You're on Earth, so it's not gonna be that hard, honestly. So you choose which of these two you want to focus on the most as in the year. What you're hoping Ilthea will develop over the year. So one is a presence medicine diff 3. So basically what I'm doing is I'm starting from a diff 5 and pulling down based on how effective the location you are helps you with that. Earth, I'd say, has, in general, it varies wildly, but it's like pull away at least 2. Same with the other thing. But so that would be you teaching people at various medical lectures, maybe invited to certain medical institutions to lecture on certain topics. Alternatively, you could be focused more. It's like, that's a thing I do, but I'm actually more focused on reconnecting with those on Earth, the people of Earth that I know, and maybe there's something out of that. Same thing, you're dealing with Earth in generic, so it falls to a. That's why it's also difficulty 3.
Yeah.
If you want, you can ask Kern for help. The second one makes more sense than the first one, although because she's not a doctor herself. And her medicine score is garbage. She knows what Starfleet taught her.
Yeah. I think I'll focus on the latter. Like, Olivia's definitely not slacking on the teaching, but she's doing that because she's here and because it's the thing to do.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a good way to rack up extra luxury.
People.
It gives you it lets you rack up some extra luxury points during the year. Luxury
and
credits,
it I think is also kind of a way to lead into the second one. She makes some new connections that way.
Yeah.
But she's mostly focused on the social aspect of things. Presence, command. I'm trying to think of a focus for this.
A bit of a reach, honestly, without using your bonus one.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to use to live nearly forever. I'm trying to think of something less professional sounding than social networking. What? Like, that's what she's doing, but that sounds way too businessy.
Mingling?
Yeah.
So I would say.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's not like you're trying. It's more of a generic. I'm meandering around among various social groups, and then from that something I can learn something from this. I can make multiple minor connections, and maybe out of that one major connection that might pop up. It's like I'm not trying to network per se, but I am trying to be available and easy to get to socially. So if someone wants to approach me, it's easy for them to do it.
Exactly. And I'd like to spend towards the value I remember those I've walked with.
Yep, I agree. Because you're going to run into people who already know you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, you're on Earth. I'm totally going to meet you at this function. Let's go. I want to mingle with other people.
Kind of. Yeah. It's also kind of maintaining that. This is how I remember those I've walked with. It's an active thing, not passive.
Or you're meeting descendants of people you know. It's like, I knew your great-grandfather, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It's
like, knew him, or shut up. What the hell? What a weird thing to ask. I mean, yes, but weird thing to ask me.
No, you're not part lanthanite. I get that question a lot. You just have good genetics, hon.
Yeah, I'm not Rysian. We're not that available. God.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Rysian.
I was expecting a Dax elevator. He had the hands of a surgeon.
Yeah, okay. I do not keep that point of determination.
I mean, young
I'm
DeFrost
checking to see
Kelly.
if I have a
Damn.
callback. Yeah.
Sorry, what was that? I got distracted.
Callback to Sacred Meeting, where I debated extensively with Commodore Hearn about cultural anthropology and
Yes.
Defended my positions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you'll probably get into similar debates on ethics and the purpose of the medical field in the modern world and so on.
Yeah.
And probably some people pushing back on why are you serving in Starfleet, that militant organization. It's like, we're not that militant. We have a military function, but we're peacekeepers, not a wartime. We're not a star imperial fleet or something.
Yeah.
We're not the KDF.
It's like there's a reason I held off until about 40 years ago before going into Starfleet. I wanted to see how it panned out.
Yeah.
I wasn't confident in it yet. What's this episode again? I don't think I have that written down.
Season 3, Episode 0. This is Why We Brave the Dark.
Oh.
Hence why I'm digging at you guys a little bit today. I'm trying to learn what your characters give a damn about.
Yep. Why We Brave the Dark. Good episode name. I like it.
Thank you. Will admit, I was struggling to figure it out until just an hour before game. I was like, that's the title.
Yeah. Writing this down, because if I don't write my log down now, I will forget to do so.
Yep. Whoops. Nope. Hold on. I did something I wasn't supposed to do. Okay, we're good. Shoot. I almost just blasted someone else's channel on the stream, which whoops. Not polite to do that. The hell's this person's name? Right.
Okay. And then for the actual role, I have focus, and soothing presence or inexhaustible patience as traits.
Inexhaustible patience,
Okay.
I would say.
Then I am just comp checking.
Whoa.
Okay. So I don't generate anything, but...
Yeah, so you meet a lot of people over time.
I'm supposed to roll 2 dice on that. Not just 1.
Oh, no, you spent
I
a value.
Oh no, you're right.
Yeah.
Don't know why I did that.
Yeah, no, so you make a lot of new connections, you reaffirm old ones. You learn people's opinions about Survey Expedition Delta, what they think of its mission, because some people are familiar. Most people don't know it. Rarely do people know what precise fleets are doing what. That's like, how often do I know about a certain fleet? I mean, I happen to check on, for example, in real life, what's happening in the Sea of Japan from time to time because of a personal interest. But that's me.
Yeah.
Like, most Canadians do not pay that much attention to such movements or what certain fleets are doing. But I could, if I wanted to look up, I could. It's like, hey, if I make someone from that fleet, oh, hey, tell me what you can. I know you can't tell me everything, but what can you tell me? Because you actually are from that fleet. So you get a bit of that. You get a bit of people. You learn of a movement that is kind of, I might get the time period wrong here. I'm gonna double check on something. Well, I'll fill this in later. So you can develop a trait based on that that experience. So what did she gain? What did she learn from this past year from that reconnecting with people? So what are you thinking?
I'm kind of thinking something to represent the kind of the thing that I often do, where I'm like, oh, I know this person here is like maybe something like wide-reaching social connections. Not sure on the phrasing of it yet, but that's what I'd think of as a trait. Well-connected.
Well, think of how it apply. You may want to make sure it's something that connects you, that helps you while you're away from Earth and such.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe not so much well connected, but like. I need to think on that. I know the general area I'm going for, but it's definitely somewhere in that, like, I know a guy, or I very easily make those long-lasting connections.
So yeah, the thing I will say that you also learn is that a few years ago, your character may have been aware of this movement. Actually, you would have heard of it in Federation politics in general. But there was a rise of the originalist faction in Federation politics, which resulted in a significant shift, a brief but significant shift in Federation policy. That kind of where the Federation started to withdraw massively from its exploration duties to a more homeworld, core world focus, which made Starfleet, which basically drastically undermined Starfleet's mission at a core. And a very popular proponent of it was Fenton Harcourt Mudd in his run for Federation president. There's a bit of a story to that. He ultimately didn't get to stay. He didn't get to stay in that movement for very long, because of course he didn't. Because Kirk interfered. Because he saw the BS on the wall. And the movement now many years later, because this happened back in almost 10 years ago. No, less than that. God, it's been a lot longer. Let's look at the current year. That would have been 20 years ago was when that happened. And now the movement is starting to, whatever influence it had, it's petering more and more out. They got involved with some Federation Tholian conflict. Like when the Federation Tholian conflict happened, there was this big back and forth between the originalist movement and Starfleet that perhaps Starfleet screwed up and they caused the war, when really it was more of a overstep and interference among the religionists. It's a long story. It's a whole comic book series that goes into it. The Year 5 series. And so at this point in history, they are still a very minor faction, but they are drastically losing popularity, especially in this post-Klingon War peacetime. This idea of withdrawing inward and not exploring outward is a very unpopular idea. You might run into one or two originalists in, like there's the kind of person who ruins a dinner party sometimes. They'll talk crap about Starfleet, and most of the room goes, "You're full of crap." Like, that's decades out of date thinking. And we tried it your way, it didn't work, we're not going to do that again. But they're not villains per se. They're not like, they're not like some sort of radical authoritarian group.
They're just a pain.
They're a pain. They're counter to the current policy. That's the one thing. They're hard counter to current policy, and current policy is the most it's more a decision of how are we going to implement this exploration and expansion across the stars, rather than whether we should be doing that at all. That's not the question anymore. That question's been answered multiple times over the centuries. So you kind of get wrapped up in that for a little bit, but you've learned that they're likely, you probably make a friend or two who might be originalist sympathizing, but no one's a strong let's revive the party sort of people. They're more like, look, I think they had a point. Maybe we need to scale things down a bit, which I imagine Ilthea doesn't necessarily agree with.
No.
Since you're not exactly signing up for home fleet duties or teaching at Starfleet Academy, it's like, I'm part of a survey expedition fleet. That is the exact opposite of what the originalists want.
Yeah.
But we will switch over to... I have to go with the camera. Let's try that. There we go. And then we look to Killick and Killick, Tom and Diana. What are you focusing on for the year? Is it down here? You're going elsewhere?
No, this was a getaway vacation. Probably. First.
So actually, what else? Ooh, God, we're okay.
Year in a long time. Of domestic life. Every night home for dinner. Seeing to the recruiting of the new parts of the crew and overseeing the outfit, because Killick helped oversee the last 2 years of construction on the Bonaventure, so he's seen it as he didn't see it as a skeleton, but he's seen it bare deck plating. So is probably a useful resource for the engineers. But again, more of being home every day.
Getting to enjoy the Wolastoq as a civilian. It's like, I'm just here. We're just here on station. We're just in the, let's hang out. Let's, sometimes we'll eat at a restaurant here on station. Sometimes we'll go check out the Arboretum, but, we always have our quarters we can go to.
And also, because this will put one of Killick's children being 16, almost 17, and not breaking out into song. I don't know, maybe. Visions of last couple of years with the oldest kid before they head off to their own life.
Okay, I would say fitness or presence plus command, difficulty of 2, as you're getting to spend time and relax and kind of just live a quote normal life, a civilian life, and just looking to your own family. Really, it's like, hey, I get to be with the family, not be off on, and you're probably going to be away for a long time. This may be a 5-year mission sort of thing.
Well, yeah, and that's the question. That's the question to answer. Is
are they coming with you?
Are you gonna come with me? Or on the other side is, do we like this so much that I should push for Commodore, which may not get me out of this next mission, but it may be the last time away from a starbase. Every mission after the next one might be, on a scale 12 starbase for the rest of life.
Yeah.
Other fitness command.
I'm being pinged. Why? Oh, that's why. Right. Yep. Not vital at the moment, but good to know. Why does it keep putting me up here? No. Stop. There. And I'm hitting Windows. I don't know how to type.
Oh, that's funny. At the beginning of the session, I was so managing the ship and Killick with talent with arcs that in fact the USS Bonaventure does not have additional propulsion system, but Captain Killick does have an additional propulsion system.
Zoom! Jeez. Wrap the rope around my arm like Popeye. I'll drag you through the river. And there's a reference no one's gonna get, so never mind. Well, no, there was an 80s like Robin Williams thing, I think, or something. It was terrible.
Yes, I think we've all seen at least one Popeye cartoon.
I don't know about that.
I've moved the propulsion system where it belongs. Now back to what I was doing.
Onto the Margaret Brook, because now you're transferring to the Margaret Brook.
Why is there no momentum?
Because it all got spent. Plus, people didn't generate a ton. They just did just enough to succeed. Or maybe a tiny bit over.
I'll spend a little bit of threat as it's not that Killick is taking it easy. In fact, having one kid that's in preparing for college or whatever, having a spouse making spending a lot of time thinking about career decisions, thinking a lot about career decisions myself. There's actually a lot to do and a lot of to keep track of. So I will spend a threat, as it is living quote unquote a normal life for a while, but it's not living it easy.
Mm-hmm. Momentum at the end of that rainbow. And yeah, ultimately, if you failed, I might have drilled at you a bit, but I will say that this is largely in the player's hands as to how the Killick family will resolve this, how they, as a family, decide where they're going to go with this. Looking at Dana Killick's sheet,
I think her values would point her towards going back out there.
Yeah, I agree. Now, whether the rest of the kids are like that, it's like, well, I mean, it's like we're following the parents. I mean, one kid's like, I'm heading out, so he might, it's like, you could come with us and, you could do extra schooling on the ship, or there's plenty of schools elsewhere across the Federation that might be the next future stepping stone to a larger world.
That's probably what it is, because if they're gonna go to a college or something, it might be like, live the last year at home with the grandparents. That way you can go to a core world or something. Because otherwise, you may have to start your university or your early career by correspondence.
Yeah.
You might have, unless you want to enlist in Starfleet and do your basic training here at Wolastoq and serve as an enlisted spacer, pretty much your only other option is to go live coreward. So that may have been part of it. This last year is last time gonna have everybody together.
Yeah.
We'll probably end up all going out, which I will then remake, with your permission, Diane, as a support character.
Okay. And of course, the question I asked of the other two, to immediately or later on, but consider what trait Killick came away from this. The past year, he's had a lot of time to think about himself, about his family, why he's doing what he's doing, and it's clear to me from the story here that Killick isn't just a lone officer who thinks of his personal ambition aside from the family. He's like, no, family's part of the equation. That's why I'm talking to them. That's kind of why I'm glad to have a few months to sit around and go, hey, let's talk about what we want to do as a family, because my career is going in a very particular direction. So I need to make some decisions like now. Or in the next year, I need to make a call.
Family, man.
Cute.
Like, it kind of works.
It does.
Killick is the family guy.
No.
Oh, great, we're the Orville now.
Full circle.
Whole lot. I have to pick out a new graphic for the Bonaventure. Well, it's that or Star Wars, and no.
Something.
Well, and what's the beginning of the storyline? What's the idea with the Admiral teasing Commodore? Because
she's gonna make Rear Admiral for sure.
that.
She has 2 successful campaigns under her belt. She is so due. She was due anyway. The only reason her career got stymied was because she was arguing for Survey Expedition Delta so much. So she basically stalled her career trying to build a fleet.
And I mean, her teasing that she's going to promote one of the captains, because if it is like okay, you're a Commodore now, so part of the pre-mission workup or something is that, at the beginning of each episode, I'm going to ask what your other ships are doing, or is it like at the end of the season, if you want to go Commodore, then we'll bring in a new character? Because I feel like we were pretty confident we didn't want to do an Admiralty game when we set it up.
Yeah.
The
So
Commodore
what you
is
would
still kind of like you could it doesn't have to be a full Admiralty thing yet.
Yeah. So yeah, what I would say is that at the end of if you wanted to, if you got enough reputation and you wanted to spend enough acclaim and you wanted to spend it for the promotion, you have room to be promoted. That's if by the end of the season your character says he never spends to promote, or at the end of the season as a sort of reward for finishing the season, assuming it goes well. Because if you fail it, then no, you're going to be told no. You need acclaim to be promoted. But at the end, you could say, I'm going for the Commodore ship. But during, you can get promoted as well. That's reflecting narratively whether or not Killick gets upped or he pushes to be upped or not. Because if he never pushes, she won't push him. But she is kind of floating the idea that she is considering among the captains of the Haida, the Wolastoq, the Market Brook, and the Bonaventure. She's like, I'm considering one of you to be the Commodore because I do need one. Given my rank, I'm supposed to have one at some point. So she could stall on that for a little bit and consider her options. But at some point, she needs to make a call. Otherwise, she's just going to be assigned one, and she doesn't want to do that. She wants one of her people to go up. And that's her call, because Commodores can be upped by the person directly above them. It's the same way you could up anyone on your ship, more or less. It's your sign up that says someone goes up. Same thing for a Commodore for her. She gets to pick who her Commodore is, if she even has one. But in this era, you're supposed to have one, just for a logistics point of view.
And the greater question is like, what does that mean gameplay wise?
Gameplay wise, that would give you once you're a Commodore, you get the room to have a support ship be part of your mission.
Out there with us.
Yeah, because you'd be an extension of Survey Expedition Delta, and it's like, well, we're the Bonaventure arm of Survey Expedition Delta. It's like, oh, well, that's Commodore so and so. They're the one doing this stuff, and
I would definitely be down to do that, so long as we kind of stick to one crew, one ship. Which means
I would say it's probably the same thing as the way we've been doing it here, where there are support ships around you. You can create support characters on those ships. But unless someone was like dying to be, I want a main character, I want to be the captain of so-and-so ship, and I'll be a captain as well on that ship. It's like, you could do that, but you'd want to agree as a team what you wanted to do.
See, that is the door I don't want to open. If me opening that door means someone gets their own ship and now like we have a difficult time as players bringing them into the mission, because technically your main character's over here and that's what we need this other ship to go do, but we can't tell the GM we want the Haida to go do this, because then that means we're writing your player character out.
Yeah, I think it's probably better to have for
Well, yeah, the only
That
people who
situation
are in
was
line for that. I mean, the thing you would tack onto that is that's what the only people who are at risk of that are Ilithia, which that'd be a medical focus ship if she became a captain. 'Cause that is a thing. It's a rare thing where a medical captain goes, "I have a ship. I'm a hospital ship, though." That's really or a laboratory ship. I'm not really an exploration ship because I'm in the medical department.
The USS Pittsburgh.
Whereas Atrum, even as a commander, could be given a small ship to assist with things. But as captain, it'd be like, no, you'd be getting your own ship. Whereas, yeah, Dekka's nowhere near that. He has a lot of promotions before that's even a question for him. Lieutenant commander minimum, and even then, that's like a weird...
Yeah,
a weird situation.
I am
Did have been time campaign around how that's like a weird... It can kind of happen, but it has to be a certain type of ship. Starfleet has to be in a certain mindset, and you have to be an exceptional person.
I would say if that did happen, if the door is open and say Atrum or Ilithia took up that challenge, I would write stories because the only stories we would focus on are the ones where both your ships would matter. If it was like you're split off into two different things, it's like, well, that's not a Commodore story, that's a normal story. But people, I mean, we can ask Ilithia now what she wants to do, but I don't know if Atrum's dying to be a captain character as part of a fleet.
No,
either.
I doubt Atrum would be that interested, especially if it meant we weren't on the bridge.
And the other thing you would open up is more multi-role. I doubt anyone's going to drop their original task, but it does open the door for the admiral positions, because now a Commodore can benefit from having an adjunct or benefit from a strategic operations officer who, even if you're just the only, that would be relevant to what your ship's doing, what other ships are doing. So it opens up those doors as well. But they're not hard. Like, they're not hard locked. You are an Admiralty game. It's like you're a captain, you're a Commodore, much like your Commodore has been. She's been doing adventures on the Wolastoq primarily. And then every so often she says, "Hey, Bonaventure, could you go look into that for me? I can't do that right now." So that's for her, that wouldn't be an episode. It'd be an episode. It's only episodes when the Wolastoq and for her, it's only when the Wolastoq and Bonaventure together are doing something, or the Haida and her doing something, or whatever. From her point of view. From your point of view, it's more. It's different. Yeah.
This wouldn't work for Ilithia, but if Atrum wanted to, that could give us room eventually for a Commodore on the ship, but Atrum being the captain of the ship.
That's true. You could do that. You could 100% do that.
But the first time I get 3 rep, I have to buy some legs. Hey, you opened the door. You said it was going to happen. Don't give me this power unless you're ready for it. I'm gonna stick some legs on that box, whether the box wants it or not. 2 bars on the uniform shirt means 2 legs on the box.
That's why they haven't been able to have legs before, because one would be a peg leg.
Yeah. 1 leg for each bar.
Yeah.
Oh no. Admiral Dekka. The centipede.
And
all
so,
according to plan.
So, we wind to a close as we have learned a bit about our Starfleet officers, our heroes of the last 2 series, and the beginnings of what they will become in the series ahead as they move beyond the Dawnland Fringe. That'll be it. That'll be all for now. For everyone watching, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing, thank you very much for playing. And we'll see you again next time. Bye. I was worried I wouldn't have enough content for the full time. I'm glad everyone got to do something cool, and I got to do the thing I wanted at the end. With a quick little year montage moment.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got to visit everyone twice on there.
That was, that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think we could have still done that before. It might have been a little
tighter,
a little more scrunched, but I've definitely been there with there's like 5 or 6 people in it, you're just like, I'm gonna see each of you once.
Yeah.
So we have to get the whole story right, and this 30-minute section is your whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm an advocate of the 4.
Where it's like, oh, you have to double up
Yeah.
in order to have it be interesting.
Yeah. Anyone below lieutenant has to share their time with someone else.
That's why I kind of needled people. Is anyone hanging out together? Nope. Okay. Well, y'all get your own.
I tried to have a scene with the captain to be like, hey, you want to tell Decca about this new engine thing? And you were like, no, not really. And I was like,
Well,
oh, okay.
It's like on another, if Decca had a different reason, it might have been yes, but that was like